practicing medicine while traveling through Douluo, but a goddess secretly eavesdrops on my inner thoughts. Hey, fanfic family. So glad to see you here again to continue this incredible adventure. As always, kindly remember, this story is 100% fiction. So don't go looking for dimensional portals in your closet. All rights to this fantastic novel belong to the original author. We're just your humble narrators of epic tales. Are you enjoying the fanfic? Show it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and dropping us a like. And if you're impatient for more exclusive content, our Patreon is your happy place. Chapter 151 The Feelings and Thoughts of the Zhu Sisters. You bullshit, Davis immediately yelled at Long Xiaoyao. Although Davis knew that what Long Xiaoyao said was indeed true, the Dai family had never stated the true purpose of the marriage with the Zhu family, and he was even more unable to admit it now. Our Dai family and Zhu family have been married for generations. This is a rule set by the founding emperor and the ancestors of the Zhu family when we founded our country. This is proof of the friendship between our two families, and it is not to weaken the strength of the Zhu family. Brother Daimyo and I also had to participate in the competition for the throne because of the rule set by the founding emperor. The winner will be the emperor, and the loser will die, but this is to make the emperor of our Star Luo Empire a strong man who can stand alone, instead of being an incompetent and weak one like the emperor of the Star Luo Empire, and this can also make our Star Luo Empire more united and make the Star Luo Empire more prosperous, and sisters Hu Yin and Zhu King happened to be married to me and Emperor Daimyo, so they had to become enemies, and there was nothing we could do about it. Immediately afterwards, Davis argued loudly. What Davis said was true, but the reason why the founding emperor of the Star Luo Empire wanted the Zhu family to marry the Dai family was not only to show friendship, but also to tie up the Zhu family and weaken the Zhu family's strength. But I will definitely win, and I will make Zhu Yin the queen of the Star Luo Empire. Then, Davis looked at Zhu Yin and said affirmatively. Oh, Long Xiaoyao didn't believe what Davis said, but he also admired Davis for being able to give such a high-sounding reason under such circumstances, and also put himself on the side of good men. Zhu King, Zhu Yin, the queen of the Star Luo Empire, compared to the lives of you two sisters, which one do you care more about? Long Xiaoyao turned to Zhu King and Zhu Yin and asked directly. Of course I care more about my sister's life, of course I care more about my sister's life, Zhu King and Zhu Yin answered at the same time without hesitation. This is what Zhu King and Zhu Yin really think in their hearts, but they usually don't dare to say it out loud, and even regard each other as enemies. Because the Zhu family was still much weaker than the Dai family, they were unable and did not dare to disobey the rules set by the founding emperor of the Star Luo Empire. They could only silently accept their tragic fate and turn against each other. But at this moment, both Zhu King and Zhu Yin felt that Long Xiaoyao could help them get rid of their tragic fate, so they both told the truth without hesitation. Elder sister, Zhu King was surprised and happy when he heard Zhu Yin's words. Because since she was sensible at the age of 5, Zhu Yin never gave her a good look every time he saw her. She thought Zhu Yin hated her. But Zhu King still didn't regard Zhu Yin as an enemy, because she vaguely remembered that when she was only 3 or 4 years old, Zhu Yin always played with her and was very kind to her. Zhu King clearly remembered that after she held an engagement ceremony with Daimyo when she was just 5 years old and sensible, Zhu Yin's attitude towards her changed 180 degrees. But what Zhu King didn't expect was that the reason why Zhu Yin changed his attitude towards her after she got engaged to Daimyo was actually to protect her younger sister. Zhu Yin was very happy when she heard Zhu King's words, but she was not surprised because she knew Zhu King and she knew that Zhu King had always cared about her. Sister. Wow. I thought you really hated me, silly sister. How could my sister hate you? Zhu King and Zhu Yin hugged each other tightly. Zhu King cried with joy, and Zhu Yin was also so happy that tears filled his eyes. Okay, Long Xiaoyao nodded. He felt very happy when he saw this scene. They are indeed sisters. Biji, Ziji, Aro and the three-eyed Jin Yang were all very moved when they saw this scene. Yuena. Kinger. You are an incompetent father. Seeing this scene, General Zhu felt very moved and felt very guilty. Tears filled his eyes, and tears flowed out of the corners of his eyes uncontrollably. The man does not flick when he has tears, but he has not yet reached the point of sadness. General Zhu has experienced countless battles and suffered numerous injuries, but he has never cried. He is now very happy to see that Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zhuayan care more about the lives of their sisters than the queens of the Star Luo Empire. But he also felt very helpless, because he was not as powerful as the emperor of the Star Luo Empire, so he did not dare to disagree with the marriage of Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zhuayan with Daimyo Bei and Davis, so that the two sisters had to turn against each other. The eldest lady. The second lady, when the accompanying Zhu family soldiers saw this scene, they couldn't help but burst into tears. Okay, when Yao Lao saw this scene, he nodded affirmatively and admired the sisters Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zhuayan very much. Not good. When Davis, the accompanying Dai family soldiers, and Daimyo Bei hiding in the carriage saw this scene, they immediately felt something bad. When the villagers of Maple Leaf Village on the side saw this scene, they were also moved by the affection between sisters Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zhuayan. General Zhu, is the marriage between your Zhu family and Dai family for generations really a rule set by your ancestors of the Zhu family and the founding emperor of the Star Luo Empire? Is this proof of the good relationship between your Zhu family and the Dai family? Long Xiaoyao looked at General Zhu again and asked directly. General Zhu, you have to think carefully before answering. Don't distort the facts. As soon as Long Xiaoyao finished speaking, Davis warned General Zhu. Whoosh! As soon as Davis finished speaking, Long Xiaoyao turned into a white shadow, quickly ran towards Davis, grabbed Davis' neck, and lifted Davis up with one hand. What? Davis suddenly felt a lot of pain in his neck and couldn't breathe. His face showed pain, and his lower limbs were shaking constantly. He grabbed Long Xiaoyao's hand with both hands and tried hard to open Long Xiaoyao's hand, but he couldn't. Can't be broken apart. Let go of His Highness the First Prince. When the accompanying Dai soldiers saw Long Xiaoyao suddenly lifting Davis up, they all showed their weapons and planned to rush towards Long Xiaoyao and save Davis. Whoever steps forward, die, boom. Long Xiaoyao looked at the soldiers and said coldly, while also bursting out with momentum and strong killing intent. The soldiers looked at Long Xiaoyao's eyes and felt as if they were being stared at by the god of death. They did not dare to move a step. Those soldiers who had already raised their legs stopped their legs in midair and did not dare to drop them. Master Long is actually a level, contra. Seeing Long Xiaoyao's explosive momentum, General Zhu and Yao Lao were shocked when they finally realized that Long Xiaoyao was a level, contra. Because since they know that Long Xiaoyao has reached level 90, as long as Long Xiaoyao hunts soul beasts and absorbs soul rings, he can be promoted to title Douluo. Although Long Xiaoyao cast illusion and looked ordinary, they could all see that Long Xiaoyao was no more than 20 years old. Generally, even very talented soul masters are at least 52, years old when they reach the level of title Douluo. They have never heard of a title Douluo who is less than 20 years old. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they would never have believed it. It seems that you have turned a deaf ear to what I said? How dare you interrupt me again and again? Do you think I am afraid of your status as the eldest prince of the Star Luo Empire and dare not make your life worse than death? Long Xiaoyao turned to Davis again, while increasing the strength of his palm. He asked Davis coldly. I know I was wrong. Davis wanted to beg for mercy from Long Xiaoyao, but his neck was squeezed tightly by Long Xiaoyao, and he could not speak at all. His face was red, veins popped out, and his expression was extremely painful. He regretted it extremely now. If he had known that Long Xiaoyao would really take action, he would not have intervened in Long Xiaoyao's words just now, and he would have reminded General Zhu with threatening words. End of this chapter. Chapter 152 The Request of the Zhu Sisters and the Threat of Davis. BG, ZG, RO and the three-eyed Jinni watched Long Xiaoyao pinching Davis without saying anything, because they all supported Long Xiaoyao no matter what he did. And they also saw that Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zhuayan turned against each other because they had to marry Davis and Daimyo Bei, and they also hated Davis very much. General Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zhuayan saw Long Xiaoyao pinching Davis, but did not step forward to stop him. Because they saw that Long Xiaoyao was going to help them, and they also hated Davis. If it weren't for Davis and Daimyo Bei, the sisters Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zhuayan would not have turned against each other. Yao Lao watched from the side, and he would not stop Long Xiaoyao. He would not offend Long Xiaoyao for Davis. He was a businessman, and he could see that offending Long Xiaoyao was far more terrifying than offending Davis. That guy actually attacked Davis. Daimyo Bei, who was hiding in the carriage, was shocked when he saw this scene. He was also very scared, and he didn't dare to go out. Long Xiaoyao kept pinching Davis until he saw Davis roll his eyes and saw that Davis could no longer hold on, so he let go of Davis. Boom. Cough cough cough, hoo-ha. Hoo-ha. Davis fell heavily to the ground, and then he lay down, coughing and breathing in and out continuously. He couldn't catch his breath for a while, and his expression was very painful. General Zhu, what is your answer? Long Xiaoyao ignored Davis, but looked at General Zhu and asked. What? General Zhu was still shocked by Long Xiaoyao's strength and did not react for a while. I'm asking you, is the marriage between the Zhu family and the Dai family for generations really a rule set by your ancestors of the Zhu family and the founding emperor of the Star Luo Empire? Is this proof of the good relationship between your Zhu family and the Dai family? Long Xiaoyao asked again. After all, General Zhu is the father of Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Zuoyan, not his enemy. He will not tell General Zhu the same question, and don't let him ask it twice. Everyone looked at General Zhu and wanted to know whether the truth was the same as what Long Xiaoyao said or what Davis said. No. General Zhu first glanced at Davis lying on the ground, then at Long Xiaoyao, thought about it carefully, and then directly denied it. Just like Mr. Long said, the reason why the founding emperor of the Star Luo Empire wants to marry our Zhu family for generations is because our Zhu family is very powerful, second only to the Dai family, in order to involve our Zhu family in the struggle for the throne of the Dai family. This will not only make the heir to the throne of their Dai family more powerful, but also make their power of the Dai family more concentrated. It can also provoke the internal struggle of our Zhu family, divide our Zhu family into two factions, contain the development of our Zhu family, prevent our Zhu family from surpassing the Dai family in strength, and also allow the winning faction of our Zhu family to become the Dai family loyal subordinates, General Zhu said truthfully. Sure enough, after hearing General Zhu's words, Long Xiaoyao nodded. It was exactly what he thought, and even exceeded his expectations. BG, ZG, Aro and the three-eyed golden tiger also nodded, and they knew that what Long Xiaoyao said before was correct. Yao also nodded, not particularly surprised, because he was also a member of the Yao family and he had seen too many such things. I didn't expect that the marriage between the Dai family and the Zhu family was actually to control the Dai family. The villagers in Maple Leaf Village were shocked when they heard General Zhu's words. Damn. Davis, who had regained his breath, Daimyo Bei, who was hiding in the carriage, and the soldiers of the Dai family who were accompanying him, were all very angry when they heard that General Zhu actually told the truth. Master Long, please help our Zhu family, help Yuena and Kinger. I don't want them to have to accept this tragic fate and be forced to turn against each other. General Zhu directly knelt down on one knee towards Long Xiaoyao and begged Long Xiaoyao. He knew that if Long Xiaoyao was willing to take action, Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Zuoyan would be able to avoid their tragic fate. In order for Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Zuoyan not to turn against each other, General Zhu did not hesitate to put down his dignity. Please help us, Mr. Long. Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Zuoyan also immediately imitated General Zhu and knelt down on one knee to plead with Long Xiaoyao. They also felt that if Long Xiaoyao was willing to take action, the two sisters would not have to turn against each other. You all should get up first. I don't like talking to people who are kneeling, Long Xiaoyao said to General Zhu, Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Zuoyan. Hearing this, General Zhu, Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Zuoyan all stood up. How do you want me to help you? Long Xiaoyao asked General Zhu. Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Zuoyan said. Master Long, you are just an outsider. I advise you not to meddle in other people's business. To tell you the truth, my father is a titled Douluo, but our Dai family not only has my father as a titled Douluo, but behind our Dai family, we also have the support of the Haoshan sect. Haoshan sect is the largest sect in Douluo continent, and all of its disciples are very powerful. Moreover, the great elder of the Haoshan sect is a level 93 titled Douluo, and the leader of the Haoshan sect is a level 96 super Douluo, and Tang Chen, the old sect leader of Haoshan sect, is a peerless Douluo who has reached level 99. Even Jin Dao Liu, the great enshrinement of Wuhun Palace, is no match for him. Even if that girl is a super Douluo, you have no chance of winning. You can't be our Dai family's opponent. As soon as Long Xiaoyao finished speaking, before General Zhu, Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Zuoyan could answer Long Xiaoyao, Davis stood up, showed a proud smile, and warned Long Xiaoyao with a smile. Davis had no other choice now. He directly moved out of the Haoshan sect to threaten Long Xiaoyao and BG. He believed that they would be afraid. The accompanying Dai soldiers were a little surprised when they heard Davis' words, but they all showed proud smiles. Haoshan sect actually supports our Dai family. Dai Mu Bei, who was hiding in the carriage, was very surprised. Because he was too young and was not doing his job all day long, he didn't know that the Haoshan sect was supporting the Star Luo Empire behind the scenes. Hateful. Although General Zhu knew that the Haoshan sect had contacts with the Xingluo Empire, he did not expect that the Haoshan sect was actually supporting the Dai family behind the scenes, and he suddenly felt very bad. Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan, as well as the accompanying Zhu family soldiers, did not expect that the Haoshan sect would actually support the Dai family, and they also felt very bad. They all know how powerful the Haoshan sect is, and they all feel that Long Xiaoyao and his party should be afraid of the Haoshan sect, which means that their future fate will only be more tragic. Ha. When Long Xiaoyao heard Davis' words, he thought of Tang Hao and Tang Xiao who were seriously injured by him and escaped. He thought of Tang Zan who was killed by him, the Great Elder, the Third Elder, the Fourth Elder, the Fifth Elder, the Sixth Elder, the Seventh Elder. The elders and Tang Chen, who had become the king of slaughter, burst into laughter. PFFT, BG, ZG, Aro and the three-eyed Jin Yan couldn't help but laugh out loud when they heard Davis's words, because they all knew that most of the senior officials of the Haoshan sect were already dead. How could they come to help the Dai family if they couldn't protect themselves? And even if people from the Haoshan sect come to help the Dai family, they are not afraid at all. What are you laughing at? When Davis saw Long Xiaoyao and Biji, instead of feeling scared, they all laughed. He felt very unhappy and confused, and at the same time he felt very uneasy. Everyone also looked at Long Xiaoyao, Biji and the others in confusion, and couldn't figure out why they laughed when they heard that the Haoshan sect supported the Dai family. End of this chapter. Chapter 153 Long Xiaoyao's answer, I will grow up in the future. Haoshan sect will not come to help you, because they will close their sect and hide themselves in a short time. Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Davis with a very sure tone. He guessed that the remaining senior officials of the Haoshan sect, seeing the lack of news from Tang Zan and the others, would definitely guess that Tang Zan and the others had been killed by him. In order to prevent him from destroying the Haoshan sect, the remaining members of the Haoshan sect, the higher-ups will definitely choose to hide behind closed doors. How is this possible? How can the Haoshan sect close the sect and hide it? You must be talking nonsense, Davis shouted in disbelief. He didn't know that basically all the senior leaders of Haoshan sect were dead now, so he didn't believe Long Xiaoyao's words. General Zhuda, Zhu's Huking, Zhu's Huayan, and others were all shocked when they heard Long Xiaoyao's words, and looked at Long Xiaoyao in disbelief. Believe it or not, love, shut up. Long Xiaoyao was too lazy to talk nonsense to Davis and said directly. At the same time, he stared at Davis. He was so frightened that Davis collapsed on the ground, trembling all over and not daring to move. Cold sweat broke out on his back and forehead. How do you want me to help you? Long Xiaoyao looked at General Zhu again, and Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan asked. What, General Zhu? Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan were still shocked when Long Xiaoyao suddenly said that Haoshan sect would close the sect and go into hiding soon, and they did not react for a while. I'm asking you, how do you want me to help you? Long Xiaoyao asked again. Oh, General Zhu, Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan finally reacted, feeling a little embarrassed and showing awkward smiles. Mr. Long, are you really sure that the Haoshan sect will close its doors and go into hiding soon? General Zhu asked Long Xiaoyao worriedly. He knew how powerful the Haoshan sect was, but he was still a little worried. Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan also looked at Long Xiaoyao worriedly. Like General Zhu, they were also a little worried. I'm sure, you can rest assured, even if everyone from the Haoshan sect comes, I won't be afraid at all, because I have Beer, Zir, Rower and Xiaojin with me. Long Xiaoyao nodded affirmatively and said confidently. BG, ZG, Aro and the three-eyed golden tiger were very happy when they heard Long Xiaoyao's words and showed a bright smile. General Zhuda, Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan heard what Long Xiaoyao said, and they were no longer worried. I would like to ask Mr. Long for help. Go back with me and ask the White Tiger Emperor to clear the rule that our Zhu family and Dai family must marry each other for generations, and to cancel the engagement between Yuena and Kinger and the eldest and second princes. I want the two sisters to escape their tragic fate and not have to turn against each other. I want them to help each other grow together and choose to marry the person they like in the future, General Zhu asked Long Xiaoyao. Please, Mr. Long. Immediately afterwards, Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Huayan also asked Long Xiaoyao. Okay, no problem, leave it to me. Long Xiaoyao nodded and agreed with a smile. Great, General Zhu Zhuking, Zhu Huayan, and the soldiers of the Zhu family were very happy when they heard Long Xiaoyao's words, and they all showed bright smiles. Great, BG, ZG. Aro and the three-eyed Jinni all smiled when they heard that Long Xiaoyao agreed without hesitation. Damn. When Davis heard Long Xiaoyao's words, he lost something very important and felt very angry, but he did not dare to say anything. Damn you guy. You actually want to help Zhuking break off my engagement. I'm so angry. Daimyo Bei also felt very angry when he heard Long Xiaoyao's words, but he didn't even dare to get out of the carriage. But there is no free lunch in the world, and I can't help you without any compensation. Just when everyone was feeling happy, Long Xiaoyao suddenly said, What does young Master Long want? Please just ask. As long as I can bring it out, I will definitely give it to young Master Long. General Zhu asked Long Xiaoyao without hesitation. As long as Long Xiaoyao can let the White Tiger Emperor cancel the marriage contract between Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Huayan and Davis and Daimyo Bei, and abolish the marriage between the Zhu family and the Dai family for generations. According to the rules, he is willing to give Long Xiaoyao anything. Hearing this, everyone also looked at Long Xiaoyao. It is good. After hearing General Zhu's words, Long Xiaoyao smiled. But now that there are outsiders here, I won't elaborate on it with General Zhu. We'll talk about it some other time when we have time. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao said. Okay. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, General Zhu nodded. General Zhu Zhuking, Zhu Huayan, it is important to deal with the plague first. After the plague is dealt with, I will go with you to see the White Tiger Emperor, right? Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao said to General Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Huayan. Okay, we asked Mr. Yao to come here to solve the plague. We can help you. General Zhu nodded and said to Long Xiaoyao. Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Huayan also nodded. They planned to help Long Xiaoyao, BG, ZG, Arao, and Three-Eyed Jinni, so that they could go back with them quickly and help them get rid of the White Tiger Emperor's relationship with Daimyo Bei and Davis engagement. Thank you for your kindness, but it's too slow to go with you. We have to fly over directly. Long Xiaoyao smiled and declined General Zhu's kindness. Okay, but we'll catch up. General Zhu smiled and said to Long Xiaoyao that Long Xiaoyao was the future of Zhu Zhuking, Zhu Huayan, and even the Zhu family. Of course he would follow Long Xiaoyao. It is good. Long Xiaoyao nodded and said nothing more. Zhuking, Huayan, we can fly there with you. Are you willing to follow us and help us? Then, Long Xiaoyao looked at Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Huayan and asked with a smile. I am willing. Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Huayan didn't hesitate and immediately answered in unison with a smile. It is worth mentioning that after Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Huayan knew that each other and themselves cared more about each other's lives than the throne of the Star Luo Empire, they had been holding hands and never separated. Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Huayan heard each other give the same answer at the same time, looked at each other, and showed happy smiles. It is good. Beer, gives Xiaojin to Zhuking, and then he holds Zhuking again. Zir, holds Huayan. Arao, let me hold you, let's fly there together. I want to nod my head and say with a smile. Okay Bridget, Ziggy, Arao and the three-eyed golden beast answered in unison. Very good. Zhu Zhuking was extremely happy when she heard Long Xiaoyao's words, because she had long wanted to hug the three-eyed golden eagle. Sisters Zhuking, Xiaojin will be left to you. Biji immediately came to Zhu Zhuking, squatted down, handed the three-eyed golden tiger to Zhu Zhuking, and said with a smile. Sisters Zhuking, you have to be gentle. Immediately afterwards, the three-eyed golden beast reminded Zhu Zhuking. Well, don't worry. Zhu Zhuking looked at the three-eyed golden beast with bright eyes, nodded heavily, then let go of Zhu Huayan's little hand, and carefully took the three-eyed golden beast from Biji's hand. So soft. Holding the three-eyed golden tiger in his arms, Zhu Zhuking felt that the three-eyed golden tiger's body and fur were very soft, and he smiled happily. Although your chest is very flat and not as soft as Sister Bridget's, it is still very comfortable. The three-eyed Jinni lay in Zhu Zhuking's arms and expressed his feelings directly. Zhu Zhuking heard what three-eyed Jinni said and glanced at Biji's chest. I am still young now, But I will grow up in the future, then, Zhu Huking said firmly. End of this chapter? Chapter 154. The person you must never offend. Yet, you do have this qualification. The three-eyed Jin Yang nodded in affirmation. Zhu Huking immediately smiled. But that will have to be at least 10 years later. But then, the three-eyed golden tiger struck again. Zhu Huking was so angry that her cheeks bulged, but she had no way to refute, because she saw that BG's was too big, and she was not sure that she would be able to develop as well as BG in more than 10 years. Ha ha ha! Everyone laughed when they heard the three-eyed genie's last strike and saw Zhu Huking was very angry but had a helpless look on his face. Sister Huking, please ignore Sister Xiaojin, she is teasing you, BG said to Zhu Huking with a smile, and then directly carried Zhu Huking into her arms with a princess hug. Okay. How dare you tease me? Crunch, Zhu Huking directly scratched the three-eyed golden eagle's front paw socket. Ha ha ha. Spare your life? Spare your life. The three-eyed golden cat had never been scratched in its front paw pits before, and was scratched directly by Zhu Huking until he burst into tears of laughter and kept begging for mercy. Do you dare to tease me next time? Zhu Huking stopped, but she still put her little hand on the three-eyed Jin Yang's front paw socket, and asked the three-eyed Jin Yang. I dare not, the three-eyed golden beast said repeatedly. What an amazing little girl, I won't kill you next time. But when had the three-eyed golden eye been bullied, she was already thinking about how to tease Zhu Huking next time. Hey, Zhu Huking showed her winner smile and smiled very happily. She had not had such fun for a long time. Zhu Huiyan and General Zhu Da felt very happy when they saw Zhu Huking showing a happy smile again, and they also smiled. Sisters Huiyan, I want to hug you. ZG came to Zhu Huiyan and reminded Zhu Huiyan with a smile. Okay, please Sister Ziggy. Zhu Huiyan showed a bright smile. No trouble, just hold on tight. As soon as she finished speaking, Zigi directly carried Zhu Huiyan into her arms with a princess hug. Rower, hold on tight. Long Xiaoyao also came to Arao. As soon as he finished speaking, he hugged Arao in a princess hug. Being held in Long Xiaoyao's arms, Arao showed a happy smile. Mr. Long, His Highness the First Prince, General Zhu. Since Mr. Long is here, I believe that the plague will be solved soon. There is nothing left for me, so I will take my leave and go back. At this moment, Xiaoyao said to Long Xiaoyao, Davis and General Zhu that he now wanted to go back quickly and study the special potion that Long Xiaoyao had just explained to him that could cure the plague. Alright, Long Xiaoyao nodded, and General Zhu also nodded. Xiaoyao had already said this, and Davis couldn't keep Xiaoyao any longer, so he didn't say anything. By the way, Xiaoyao, where's Miss Yaosiki now? Long Xiaoyao asked the old Taoist doctor. Miss is currently in the Shine Chamber of Commerce in Shine City. Xiaoyao returned to Long Xiaoyao Road as expected. Then are you going back to Shine City now? Yes, then you give Miss Siki a message, saying that I have something important to ask her and ask her to come to Xingluo City and go to Zhu's house to find me. I will wait for her at Zhu's house. Okay, I will definitely bring Mr. Long's words to the lady, Xiaoyao assured. Let's go, Long Xiaoyao said to Biji, Zigi, Arao, Three-Eyed Golden Raider, Zhu Huking and Zhu Huiyan. Plop. As soon as he finished speaking, Long Xiaoyao directly called out the Suzuka wings, carried Arao and flew into the sky, flying to the next village. Call out, call out. BG held Zhu Huking in her arms, and ZG held Zhu Huiyan in her arms, soared directly into the sky, and followed Long Xiaoyao to the next village. Wow! What a fast speed, what a beautiful view. Zhu Huking and Zhu Huiyan were flying in the arms of Biji and Zigi, feeling the whistling wind and looking at the unique scenery in the sky, feeling very excited. His Royal Highness, General Zhu, I will take my leave now. Seeing that Long Xiaoyao and his party had flown away, Xiaoyao said to Davis and General Zhu again. Okay, Xiaoyao, go slowly, General Zhu said to Xiaoyao. Wait a minute, Xiaoyao, who is this Mr. Long? What is his name? Davis stopped Xiaoyao and asked. He had never heard of the famous figure Long Guangzi in the Douluo continent, and he had never heard of Ziji, a female super Douluo powerhouse. He was very curious about Long Xiaoyao. What is the identity of this group of people? I don't know young Master Long's name, and I don't know who they are, but what I know is that Mr. Long and the others are people who must not be offended. I advise the eldest prince to think twice before acting and not to get burned. Xiaoyao answered truthfully and kindly advised Davis, then ignored Davis and gave Davis a chance to speak. He walked directly back to the carriage and rushed back to Shine City to send a message to Shiseki went. Is he someone who must never be offended? Davis looked at Xiaoyao's carriage and showed a meaningful smile. Your Highness, the eldest prince, I am going to chase Mr. Long and the others. Do you and the second prince want to go with me? General Zhu asked Davis. Uncle, do you really ask Mr. Long, an outsider, to ask my father to cancel my engagement with Huayan? Do you think I'm not good enough to Huayan? Davis did not answer General Zhu's question, but asked General Zhu instead. Davis was very concerned about the throne of the Star Luo Empire. He knew that once his engagement to Zhu Huayan was terminated, the Zhu family would not necessarily support him. Moreover, Davis discovered that Zhu Huayan was a perfect beauty and had long since decided that Zhu Huayan was his woman. He has always wanted to get closer to Zhu Huayan, but Zhu Huayan has always kept a distance from him. He has not even touched Zhu Huayan's hand yet. So Davis couldn't just watch his engagement with Zhu Huayan being terminated. There is also my engagement with Zhu King. Uncle, do you really ask Mr. Long to ask my father to cancel my engagement with Zhu King? Don't you think I'm not good enough to Zhu King? Aren't you afraid that Mr. Long will ask you to give him a big reward? At this moment, Daimyo Bei walked out of the carriage and asked General Zhu. Daimyo Bei, like Davis, could not just watch his engagement with Zhu King be terminated. Your Highness the First Prince, Your Highness the Second Prince, what do you think of Yuena and Kinger? You and I know it very well in our hearts, so don't let me say more, right? You have also seen the attitudes of Yuena and Kinger just now. They care about each other's lives more than the throne of the Star Luo Empire. And I know that they don't like you. They and I are both forced by the previous rules. That's why I have to get engaged to you. So in order for Yuena and Kinger to be free without turning against each other, as long as young Master Long can ask the White Tiger Emperor to terminate Yuena and Kinger's engagement with you, I will not hesitate to pay even if young Master Long wants expensive rewards. General Zhu said firmly. It seems there is no room for recovery, right? Davis asked General Zhu with a sneer. Daimyo Bei also looked at General Zhu unhappily. Yes, General Zhu nodded, his tone very firm. Good, very good. Davis said very good twice in annoyance, and then turned his head away. Humph, Daimyo Bei snorted coldly and turned his head. Turn around and return to Xingluo City, Davis ordered. Go back to Star Luo City, Daimyo Bei also followed suit. Davis and Daimyo Bei had the same idea at the moment, which was to go back first and explain the situation to the White Tiger Emperor so that the White Tiger Emperor would not agree to terminate their engagement with Zhu Huayan and Zhu King. Zhu Yuanai, you lead a team of people to escort His Royal Highness the First Prince and His Highness the Second Prince back, General Zhu ordered. Yes, Master, Zhu Yuanai replied respectfully. Davis and Daimyo Bei all returned to the Star Luo Empire, while General Zhu led a team of troops to chase Long Xiaoyao. End of this chapter. Chapter 155. Are you Long Xiaoyao? He's so handsome. The environment of the high mountain in front is not bad. Let's go there for lunch first. Seeing that there was a relatively wide grassland on the mountain not far ahead, and the surrounding environment was beautiful, Long Xiaoyao said to Biji, Ziji, Arao, Three-Eyed Golden Knee, Zhu King and Zhu Huayan. But aren't we rushing to the next village to help the villagers treat the plague? Zhu King, who was held in Biji's arms, asked Long Xiaoyao. People are iron and rice is steel. If you don't eat a meal, you will be hungry. Beer, Zir, Rower and I can say that it doesn't matter if we skip a meal, but you, Xiaojin, and Zhuayan are still growing, so we can't eat less, and I have already prepared the meal. We can just eat it. It won't take too much time. Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Zhu King. Zhu King, Zhu Huayan and Sanayan Jinai felt very heartwarming when they heard Long Xiaoyao's words. They all felt hungry and showed sweet smiles. Zhu King, let me tell you, the food cooked by Brother Xiaoyao is very delicious. I guarantee that after you eat it once, you will completely fall in love with it. The three-eyed Jinni showed a meaningful smile and said to Zhu King with a smile. Because three-eyed Jinai felt that Long Xiaoyao was going after Zhu King and Zhu Huayan, she already regarded Zhu King and Zhu Huayan as her own. Now that there is no one around, there are no outsiders, so three-eyed Jinai just calls Long Xiaoyao Xiaoyao's brother. Really? Then I have to look forward to it. Zhu Xiuqing immediately showed an expectant look when she heard Three-Eyed Genie saying that the food cooked by Long Xiaoyao was so delicious that she would fall in love with it completely. Brother Xiaoyao. Mr. Long, are you Long Xiaoyao? Zhu Xiuqing heard the three-eyed golden beast call Long Xiaoyao brother Xiaoyao, and thought of Long Xiaoyao's name on the reward order issued by Wuhun Palace. With shock and doubt, he looked at Long Xiaoyao and asked, Long Xiaoyao? Hearing Zhu Xiuqing's question, Zhu Xiuqing also remembered that the three-eyed golden tiger called Long Xiaoyao brother Xiaoyao just now. Moreover, she remembered that BG and other girls called Long Xiaoyao young Master Long, and she also felt that Long Xiaoyao was probably the Long Xiaoyao on the Wuhan Palace reward order, and she looked at Long Xiaoyao in shock and curiosity. Yes, I am Long Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao directly dispelled the illusion, turned his head to Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuqing, and said to them with a smile. Long Xiaoyao planned to make Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuqing fall in love with him, so of course he would not deceive them. It's really Long Xiaoyao? You are too handsome. It's much more handsome than the portrait on the Wuhan Palace's reward order. Seeing Long Xiaoyao's handsome appearance, Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuqing's eyes suddenly lit up, and they couldn't help but praise Long Xiaoyao directly. They all stared at Long Xiaoyao with their big, watery eyes. They were completely attracted by Long Xiaoyao and looked at Long Xiaoyao infatuatedly. From a 5-year-old girl who has just become sensible, to a goddess who has lived tens of thousands of years, there is no one who does not like to look at handsome men. What's more, Long Xiaoyao, a handsome guy who looks like a banished immortal, is as handsome as the big guys in front of the screen. Thank you for the compliment, but please don't tell anyone my true identity. Including General Zhu, Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuqing. Oh, Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuqing discovered that Long Xiaoyao was not only handsome, but also had an unparalleled temperament. There was a very unique charm in his movements that made them unable to refuse Long Xiaoyao's words. So they nodded without hesitation and looked at Long Xiaoyao dreamingly. Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuqing had never seen such a handsome guy as Long Xiaoyao. Moreover, Long Xiaoyao was so kind to them and even helped them break off their engagement with Daimyo Bei and Davis to save them from their tragic fate. They discovered that this was the plot of the fairy tale, in which a handsome prince defied power and rescued the princess. Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuqing were still young. They did not expect that the plot on the fairy tale would actually happen to them. They were completely fascinated by Long Xiaoyao. BG, ZG, Aro and the three-eyed genie looked at Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuqing, and then remembered that they looked like this when they saw Long Xiaoyao's true appearance for the first time, and they all smiled. Okay, here we are. While talking, Long Xiaoyao hugged Aro, BG hugged Zhu Xiuqing who was holding the three-eyed golden beast, and ZG held Zhu Xiuqing, and they fell to the grassland of the mountains almost at the same time. Long Xiaoyao, BG and ZG put Arao, Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuqing in their arms on the grass. Boom. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao called out the little house. Such a big house. Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuqing were very surprised to see Long Xiaoyao suddenly summoning such a big house. Because although they knew that some soul guides could store things, they had never seen a soul guide that could fit in such a large house. Xiaojin, Zhu Qing, Zhu Yun, you guys wait for us here. Beer, Zier, Rower and I will go in and take out the food. Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to the three-eyed golden beast, Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuqing. Okay, three-eyed golden beasts, Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuqing replied without any rebuttal. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao took Biji, Ziji and Arao into the small house. Zhu Xiuqing hugged the three-eyed genie, and Zhu Xiuqing kept looking at Long Xiaoyao's back longingly, refusing to look away for a long time, until Long Xiaoyao walked into the house and was out of sight. How is it? Brother Xiaoyao is handsome, isn't he? Do you two sisters fall in love with Brother Xiaoyao? The three-eyed golden man smiled and asked Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuqing one after another. Okay, upon hearing the question from three-eyed genie, Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuqing both nodded without hesitation. They did fall in love with Long Xiaoyao, but it was not the kind of love between men and women, but they had a very strong impression of Long Xiaoyao. Then you have to call me Sister Xiaojin, because not only am I older than you, but I also became Brother Xiaoyao's woman before you did. The three-eyed genie showed a proud smile and said to Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuqing with a smile, looking like a big sister. She felt that Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zuoyan fell in love with Long Xiaoyao as much as she did, and wanted to become Long Xiaoyao's woman. When did I say that I wanted to be Mr. Long's woman? When Zhu Zhuqing heard what Three-Eyed Jinyu said, he realized what Three-Eyed Jinyu meant. His pretty face immediately turned red. She felt very shy and questioned Three-Eyed Jinyu. She was completely attracted by Long Xiaoyao just now, but she never thought about becoming Long Xiaoyao's woman. However, she felt in her heart that becoming Long Xiaoyao's woman might not be a bad idea, and she showed a sweet smile. Zhu Zuoyan also reacted. Her pretty face immediately turned red. She felt very shy, and showed a sweet smile. Although she did not refute Three-Eyed Jinyang, she also did not call Three-Eyed Jinyang her sister. Wait a minute, Xiao Jin, you said you are Mr. Long's woman, Zhu Zhuqing asked the Three-Eyed Jinyang in disbelief. She thought of the woman who Three-Eyed Jinyi had just said that she became Long Xiaoyao before her, and she felt very shocked. Because she always thought that the Three-Eyed Golden Tiger was Long Xiaoyao's pet, and it was a talking pet. When Zhu Zuoyan heard Zhu Zhuqing's question, he also remembered that the Three-Eyed Jinyi had just said that she was Long Xiaoyao's woman, and looked at the Three-Eyed Jinyi in disbelief. She had always thought that the Three-Eyed Jinyi was Long Xiaoyao's pet. Yes, the Three-Eyed Golden Tiger nodded. Rumble. Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zuoyan felt like a bolt from the blue after receiving the affirmation of the Three-Eyed Jinyi. At this moment, their hearts were deeply shocked. They never expected that Long Xiaoyao would actually let the Three-Eyed Jinyi become their woman. End of this chapter. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 156 Xiaojin, you are the strongest wingman. It's normal for you to be so shocked, because you don't know the true identities of Brother Xiaoyao and I. Three-Eyed Jinyi saw Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zuoyan so shocked and expressed that he could understand them. The true identities of you and Mr. Long. When Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zuoyan heard the Three-Eyed Golden Beast's words, they both looked at the Three-Eyed Golden Beast curiously. Actually, Brother Xiaoyao is both a human and a mythical beast, and I am the auspicious beast, the Three-Eyed Golden Leopard. I can be worthy of Brother Xiaoyao, the Three-Eyed Golden Tiger said proudly. Through the contact with Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zuoyan, Three-Eyed Jinyi felt that the two sisters were very good, and she felt that Long Xiaoyao wanted to pursue the two sisters. She felt that the two sisters would definitely become like Ah Yin and other girls. Long Xiaoyao's woman. Therefore, Three-Eyed Jinyi chose to believe the sisters Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zuoyan, and told them the truth. Master Long is both a human and a mythical beast, and you are the auspicious beast Three-Eyed Golden Eagle. Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zuoyan were shocked when they heard the Three-Eyed Jinyi's words. At the same time, they also felt question marks on their faces, and they also felt a little scared. Because Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zuoyan were still young, they had never heard of the auspicious beast, the Three-Eyed Golden Eagle, or the mythical beast, the furry calf. But the two sisters can understand that the mythical beast Maodo and the auspicious beast, Three-Eyed Golden Raider are not human beings, so they will only be spirit beasts. Although the two sisters are still young, they both know that humans and spirit beasts are enemies. Moreover, they know that ordinary soul beasts cannot speak human language, and only 10-year-old soul beasts can speak human language. In other words, Long Xiaoyao and Three-Eyed Jinyi are very likely to be 10-year-old soul beasts. You don't have to worry, because we are not your enemies, and since Brother Xiaoyao has chosen to agree to help you and terminate his engagement with Davis and Daimyo Bei, Brother Xiaoyao will definitely help you. Sister Biji, Sister Ziji, Sister Arao and I will also help you. Three-Eyed Jinyi saw that Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zuoyan were very worried when they heard what she said, so he immediately said with a smile. Okay. When Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zuoyan heard what Three-Eyed Jinyi said, they thought that Long Xiaoyao and Three-Eyed Jinyi had never touched them or scared them. Moreover, Long Xiaoyao, Biji and other women had been protecting them and being very kind to them. They felt that what the Three-Eyed Golden Man said should be true, and they all breathed a sigh of relief. I believe Brother Xiaoyao also likes you. When you grow up, he will definitely let you become his woman and our sisters, otherwise, he may agree to help you and help you break off your engagement with Davis and Daimyo Bei, but he will never bring you here with him, and he will also show his true face in front of you. and let you follow. We ate together." The three-eyed genie smiled and said to Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Huayan. Although it was a guess, her tone was very certain. She believed that she was not wrong. Really, Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Huayan were surprised and happy when they heard the three-eyed golden beast's words. They thought about it carefully and found that the three-eyed golden beast's words did make sense. Both of their sisters fell in love with Long Xiaoyao. If Long Xiaoyao also fell in love with him and wanted them to be his women, they would also be willing to become Long Xiaoyao's women. At the same time, Long Xiaoyao moved a big table, followed by Biji, Ziji, and Arao, who were carrying a lot of food in bowls and chopsticks. They all heard what the three-eyed genie said to Zuzu just now. What Qing and Zhu Huayan said. "Xiaojin, what truth are you talking about?" At this moment, Long Xiaoyao smiled and asked the three-eyed Jin Yang. "Xiaojin, you are the strongest wingman." At the same time, Long Xiaoyao directly sealed the three-eyed golden tiger as the strongest wingman in his heart. Because he never expected that the three-eyed golden beast would not only see his thoughts, and he just went in with Biji, Ziji and Arao to get tables, chairs, food, and bowls and chopsticks. Three-eyed Jin Yang had already let Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Huayan know his thoughts, and Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Huayan seemed willing. Be his women. Biji, Ziji and Arao were also very surprised. Although they also saw Long Xiaoyao's true thoughts, like Long Xiaoyao, they did not expect that the three-eyed golden beast was so powerful and could help Long Xiaoyao better than them. Hey, hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, the three-eyed genie showed a naive smile. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Huayan both felt shy, and the pretty pink faces turned red. Fortunately for Zhu Xiuqing, she is younger, knows less, and is not too shy. Zhu Huayan was particularly shy because she was already over 11 years old, and in Douluo continent, women can get married at the age of 14, so she knew a lot and felt very shy. She lowered her head to look at the grass and did not dare to look directly at Long Xiaoyao. Mr. Long, is what Xiaojin said true? Zhu Xiuqing looked at Long Xiaoyao expectantly, and asked Long Xiaoyao word by word. She was still young, but she knew that she fell in love with Long Xiaoyao, and she wanted to know what Long Xiaoyao's feelings were, and whether she could talk to the three-eyed golden wolf. Same. Hearing Zhu Xiuqing's question, Zhu Huayan also fell in love with Long Xiaoyao, and wanted to know whether Long Xiaoyao's thoughts were the same as what the three-eyed golden man said, so she raised her head and looked at Long Xiaoyao expectantly. Yes, Long Xiaoyao didn't even think about it, he just smiled and nodded. His idea was the same as what three-eyed genie said, and when he saw the expectant looks in Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Huayan's eyes, he couldn't tell lies to deceive them. Seeing that Long Xiaoyao nodded and admitted without even thinking, Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Huayan felt very happy and showed very happy smiles. Zhu Xiuqing laughed from ear to ear because she knew that Long Xiaoyao also liked her. Zhu Huayan smiled more reservedly because she knew better, but she was also smiling from ear to ear. But you are still young now. You have to wait until you grow up to become a woman. Now we have to hurry up and eat. We have to save people later. Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Huayan, and then began to set the table and took out the chairs from the space ring and put them away. Okay, Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Huayan nodded one after another. They both knew that they were too young now, and they really had to wait until they grew up before they could be called Long Xiaoyao's women. Biji, Ziji, Arao and the three-eyed genie heard Long Xiaoyao's words and saw the bright smiles of Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Huayan, and they also smiled happily. They also liked these two sisters who valued love and righteousness very much. Beer, Zir, Rower, put the food on the table. Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Biji, Ziji and Arao. Okay, Biji, Ziji and Arao began to lay out the meals with Long Xiaoyao. After a while, Long Xiaoyao and the four of them had placed the food in bowls and chopsticks, and everyone sat on the chairs. Gilu, Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Huayan sat next to each other, looking at the delicious food on the table. Their eyes shone with greed, their stomachs began to growl, and their saliva was about to flow out. Hey, Zhu Xiuqing smiled sheepishly. Zhu Huayan still felt a little out of place, and his pretty face turned red with embarrassment. No one laughed at Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Huayan because they could understand them. End of this chapter. Chapter 157 Naughty Xiaojin, the Great White Tiger. Let's start, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile. Okay, All the girls nodded. Then Bridget, Ziggy, and Arrow wolfed down their food without caring about the image, as if they hadn't eaten in a few days. This, Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan were very surprised when they saw this scene, because they felt that Biji, Ziggy and Arrow were all gentle and elegant, and they should not look like this when eating. Are these meals really that delicious? Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan felt that these meals must be very delicious, otherwise Bridget, Ziggy and Arrow would not be so disregardful of their image. Xiuqing, Xiuyan, we are all our own people, you are welcome. Besides, you are still growing. You need to eat more so that you can grow up faster. Long Xiaoyao smiled and asked Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan. Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan nodded again, then picked up a piece of 8 treasure duck meat and put it into their mouths. Too delicious. As soon as Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan put the babao duck meat into their mouths, they couldn't help but praise it while holding the babao duck meat in their mouths, showing extremely happy smiles. Immediately afterwards, Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan also joined Biji, Zg and Arrow's wolfing team. Good to eat, this is super delicious too. At the same time, Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan were also praising them constantly. Sisters Xiuqing, Sisters Xiuyan, try that one is also very delicious. Suddenly, the three-eyed Jin Yang showed a wicked smile, pointed at mapo tofu and said to Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan. Although the mapo tofu made by Long Xiaoyao is very authentic, and Biji, Ziggy and Arrow all think it is very delicious, but for three-eyed Jinny, she feels it is too spicy, and it is not very delicious. Three-eyed Jinny believed that Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan were still young and would find it too spicy, and not very tasty, so she deliberately let Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan eat mapo tofu. Really? Let me try it. Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan were completely unaware of the purpose of the three-eyed golden beast. They scooped up a spoonful of mapo tofu and put it directly into their mouths without any precautions. Long Xiaoyao, Biji, Zg and Arrow were all eating. Before they had time to remind Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan, they found Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan scooping a large spoonful of mapo tofu into their mouths and were very surprised. Hey! How is it going? Is it delicious? The three-eyed Jinny showed a proud smile, asked Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan with a smile, and then stared at Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan, wanting to see the pained expressions of Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan. Okay, Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan were so excited by the numbness and spiciness of mapo tofu that they felt so excited that they couldn't help but get alert. However, the two sisters did not hate this stimulation. Instead, they liked it very much. They found it very delicious and chewed it carefully. The numbness and spiciness of mapo tofu fully stimulated their taste buds. They showed a very happy smile and enjoyed it very much. Such stimulation. What? Three-eyed Jinny was shocked when he saw that Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan not only showed no expressions of pain, but actually enjoyed themselves very much. Long Xiaoyao, Biji, Zg and Arrow were also very shocked. They did not expect that Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan were so young that they could actually eat a large spoonful of mapo tofu in one bite and enjoy it very much. Gollum, it's so delicious. Sister Jin, you really didn't lie to us. Sister Xiao Jin, which one else is delicious? After Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan swallowed the mapo tofu in their mouths, they asked Sanayan Jinai excitedly. Okay, although he didn't get to play with Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan, the three-eyed Jinai felt very happy when he heard the two sisters calling him Sister Jin, and smiled. And that one, three-eyed Jinny pointed out a dish that she thought was very delicious to Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan. I'll try it. Yes. Very delicious. Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan tasted it without any doubt and found that it was indeed very delicious, so they asked the three-eyed golden beast to recommend delicious food to them. Seeing this scene, Long Xiaoyao, Biji, Zg and Arrow all smiled and started eating too. It took more than 20 minutes for Long Xiaoyao and his party to finish a large table of food. After everyone rested for a while, Long Xiaoyao packed up the small house and led everyone to the next village. Next, everyone spent 2 days curing all the remaining villagers infected with a plague. In order for Emperor White Tiger to terminate the engagement between Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Xiuyan and Daimyo Bei and Davis, Long Xiaoyao and his party followed General Zhu back to Luo City, the capital of the Luo Empire. After spending 2 days, Long Xiaoyao and his party followed General Zhu into Luo City. Because Long Xiaoyao and his party entered Xingluo City at dusk, they did not choose to go to Emperor White Tiger immediately. Instead, they followed General Zhu, Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Huayan into the Zhu family. General Zhu directly used the highest etiquette to entertain Long Xiaoyao, Biji, Ziji and Erao. Not long after Long Xiaoyao and his party entered the Zhu family, the Xingluo Empire Palace. The emperor of the Star Luo Empire, the White Tiger Emperor, was sitting on the throne. He was tall and mighty, with a fierce appearance, and he had the aura of a king and was quite majestic. On both sides of the emperor, stood two white-haired old men wearing black robes and expressionless faces. They looked very powerful, and they looked very similar. They could be said to be exactly the same. And standing below were Davis and Dai Mubei. Weiss, Mubei, have you found out who the young Master Long you are talking about is? Emperor White Tiger asked Davis and Dai Mubei. Going back to my father, I can only find out that young Master Long once took BG and ZG to the Kibao Glazed sect 10 days ago, but they came out immediately, and then entered the Rose Hotel to stay for one night. The next day he just left. Other than that, nothing more is known about them. Dai Mubei was the first to report. Back to my father, I can only find this information on the black market, but no other information about them, Davis also reported. Report, at this moment, a voice came from outside the door. Come in, Emperor White Tiger said calmly, but his voice was transmitted directly to the door. A soldier in armor walked in. Report to the Emperor that General Zhu is back, and he rushed back to the Zhu family. Soldier Wei reported that he was very curious as to why the White Tiger Emperor asked him to pay attention to General Zhu's movements and to come and report as soon as possible, because the White Tiger Emperor had never done this before. But he didn't dare to ask. Did General Zhu bring back some strangers? General Zhu brought back a man he had never seen before, and 3 women he had never seen before. Understood, you go down, the White Tiger Emperor said calmly. Yes, the soldier walked directly down. Father, my uncle will definitely bring Mr. Long and the others to threaten you tomorrow, asking you to terminate the engagement between me and Huan, as well as the Emperor's younger brother and Zhuking, and to abolish the marriage contract between our Dai and Zhu families for generations. It's about the rules of betrothal. In my opinion, Mr. Long and his group must be reclusive cultivators. They do not have any strong background and do not know how powerful our Xingluo Empire is, and the reason why Mr. Long said the Taotian sect will close down and hide in the near future must be just a bluff in order to deceive us. We absolutely cannot let them succeed, otherwise where will the majesty of our Dai family be? After the soldiers walked down, Davis told his guess, and then persuaded the White Tiger Emperor with righteous words. Brother Wang is right, we can't spare them, and uncle, he actually dares to let outsiders come to persecute our father, and he deserves to be punished. Otherwise, where's the majesty of our Dai family? Will our Dai family be punished sooner or later? Replace it with the Zhu family, Dai Mubei also persuaded. End of this chapter? Chapter 158, The Fragrance of Ecstasy, The Tragic Fate of the Zhu Family Women. The White Tiger Emperor nodded. He felt that Davis's guess and words, as well as Dai Mubei's words, were reasonable. However, the White Tiger Emperor fell into deep thought, because the person he sent to Haoshan sect to determine the situation had not returned yet, and he could not be sure whether Long Xiaoyao was bluffing. But after thinking about it carefully, he also felt that Long Xiaoyao was probably bluffing. He felt that after all, the Haoshan sect was the #1 sect in the Douluo continent, and it was impossible for him to suddenly announce that the sect was closed and hidden. The main reason was because he didn't know that all the senior officials of Haoshan sect had been basically killed by Long Xiaoyao. Wes, did you get what I asked you to get from the black market? The White Tiger Emperor asked Davis. Go back to father, I've got it, Davis answered respectfully, then took out a delicate antique brown box and showed a sinister smile. Very good. When the White Tiger Emperor saw the small box that Davis took out, he also revealed his insidious look. The contents of the box in Davis's hand were the dark ecstasy incense and the antidote to the dark ecstasy incense that Davis had purchased from the black market with a large amount of gold soul coins ordered by the White Tiger Emperor. The incense is colorless and odorless, but it has a strong medicinal effect. It can suppress the soul and mental power of all soul masters who inhale the incense into their bodies, making them unable to use their soul and mental power, and they will also feel weak. Unless they are peerless Douluo, even level 98 super Douluo, once they inhale the incense of ecstasy, They will all turn into lambs to be slaughtered within the next 3 days, ready to be slaughtered. Of course, you can also take the antidote to eliminate the power of the incense. Hey Ju, hey Mie, you will hide in the dark and wait for my order tomorrow. After the dark ecstasy incense takes effect, once you hear my order, you will immediately kill those meddling ones, the White Tiger Emperor ordered to the two men in black on both sides. He also felt that Long Xiaoyao and his party should not have any big background, and even if they did, the biggest one would be the Wuhan Palace. The Xingluo Empire was originally at odds with the Wuhan Palace, and the Xingde family had the support of the Haotian sect, so the White Tiger Emperor was not afraid of the Wuhan Palace. Emperor White Tiger felt that as long as Ziqi was poisoned, Long Xiaoyao and his party would have nothing to fear. Yes, Heiju and Heimie replied respectfully. At the same time, in a room of the Zhu family, General Zhu, together with his sisters Zhu Zhuqing, Zhu Huayan, and the two sisters' mother, were explaining the situation to Long Xiaoyao, Biji, Ziji, Aro and the three-eyed Jinli. It is worth mentioning that the mothers of Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Huayan were not from the Dai family, but the eldest lady of another family. Because although the Dai family and the Zhu family have been married for generations, boys from each generation of the Dai family have been married to girls of similar age from each generation of the Zhu family since childhood. Moreover, the boys of every generation of the Zhu family could not even marry the girls of every generation of the Dai family. Therefore, the Zhu family has been able to marry the Dai family for generations, and it seems to have unlimited glory, but in fact, not only has its strength been weakened, but the Zhu family woman who became the queen is actually a hostage imprisoned by the Dai family, so that the Zhu family does not dare to rebel. Dai family. The most pitiable thing is the girl from the Zhu family. Not only do she have to turn against her biological sisters, but after becoming the queen, she is just a pawn imprisoned by the Dai family. Master Long, the White Tiger Emperor is a level 93 titled Douluo, and by his side, there are two level 95 titled Douluo, the twin brothers Heiju and Heimie, as his bodyguards anytime and anywhere. Brothers Heiju and Heimie were cared for and trained by the late emperor since they were young, and they were able to reach their current heights. That's why they are willing to become the bodyguards of the White Tiger Emperor. I once heard the White Tiger Emperor say that if the two brothers Heiju and Heimie join forces, they can even fight evenly against a level 96 Super Douluo, and there are thousands of Imperial Guards in the palace, all of whom are at least level 41 Soul Sex and above. 8 of the leaders of the Imperial Guards are all Soul Douluo above level 81, and the Dai family also has the support of the Haotian sect. I wonder if the Haotian sect has sent anyone to help the Dai family, General Zhu explained to Long Xiaoyao. Presumably Emperor White Tiger will not easily agree to terminate the engagement between Yuena and Kinger and His Highness the First and Second Princes. There will probably be a battle tomorrow, and I can't bring the Zhu family's troops in. I wonder if young Master Long and Miss Ziji are sure that they can get Emperor White Tiger to terminate the engagement between Yuena and Kinger and His Royal Highness the First and Second Princes. If not, you better not go with me tomorrow, otherwise I will harm you. Immediately afterwards, General Zhu asked Long Xiaoyao that although he hoped that Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Huayan could regain their freedom, he did not want to implicate Long Xiaoyao and his party. In the past few days, General Zhu had been looking for an opportunity to explain the situation to Long Xiaoyao, but he saw that Long Xiaoyao had been talking and laughing with Biji, Ziji, Aro, Three-Eyed Golden Yao, Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Huayan. I never had a good chance to say it. Moreover, General Zhu also wanted Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Huayan's mothers to know about this, so he called Zhu Zhuqing's mother over as soon as he returned to Zhu's house. Zhu Zhuqing, Zhu Huayan and their two sisters' mother all looked at Long Xiaoyao with expectation. They all hoped that Long Xiaoyao could be confident. Don't worry, General Zhu. No one from the Haotian sect will come to help the Dai family. Tomorrow we will definitely ask the White Tiger Emperor to terminate Zhuqing and Huayan's engagement with Daimyo Bei and Davis. Long Xiaoyao said with confidence that as long as there is no peerless Douluo, he is sure to be able to defeat him now. What's more, now beside Long Xiaoyao, there's Biji, a powerful assistant, and Ziji, a powerful combat power. Master Long is right, it's all on us, Ziji also said confidently. Great, Zhu Zhuqing, Zhu Huayan and their parents were very happy to see Long Xiaoyao being so confident. Okay. I wonder what Mr. Long wants as reward? General Zhu asked Long Xiaoyao that Long Xiaoyao had never mentioned the reward to him. He wanted to know so that he could prepare in advance. There's no rush, let's wait until tomorrow when we ask the White Tiger Emperor to terminate the engagement between Zhu King and Xuan, Daimyo Bei and Davis, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile. The next morning, after breakfast, Long Xiaoyao took BG, Ziji, Aro and the three-eyed golden eagle to the palace together with General Zhu, Zhu's Huking, Zhu's Huayan and the sister's mother. Originally, Long Xiaoyao wanted Aro, three-eyed golden eye, Zhu's Huking, Zhu's Huayan, and the sister's mother to wait for them at Zhu's house, but they insisted on coming with him, so he had no choice but to let them come with him. Arriving at the palace, Long Xiaoyao and his party were waiting at the palace gate and asked the guards to go in and report. Inside the hall, to report to the emperor, General Zhu, along with his wife, Miss Zhu's Huayan, second Miss Zhu's Huking, and a man and three women brought back by General Zhu, are asking for an audience outside the palace gate. The guards who came to report reported to the White Tiger Emperor. Bring them in, the White Tiger Emperor said calmly. Yes, the guard walked down again. Wes, give us the antidote, and then light the incense of ecstasy. After the guards walked down, the White Tiger Emperor said to Davis. Yes, Davis smiled sinisterly. The White Tiger Emperor and Daimyo Bei also showed sinister smiles. Long Xiaoyao and his party didn't know anything about this yet. They were still waiting outside the palace gate until the guards came back. Then they followed the guards and walked in. They walked for a while before arriving in front of the main hall. The room was actually filled with the ecstatic fragrance. Although the fragrance of ecstasy is said to be colorless and odorless, Long Xiaoyao's insightful eyes can see the essence of all things. He clearly saw the entire hall, all filled with the fragrance of ecstasy. As a doctor, Long Xiaoyao certainly knows the effect of the incense of ecstasy. End of this chapter. Chapter 159 The Conspiracy of the White Tiger Emperor. It seems that the White Tiger Emperor not only has no intention of breaking off the engagements of Zhu King and Xuan, and Daimyo Bei and Davis, but he also plans to keep us all here. Long Xiaoyao guessed that the White Tiger Emperor probably planned to get rid of them, otherwise he would not have used the incense. Although the incense of ecstasy is effective on soul masters below peerless Douluo, it has no effect on Long Xiaoyao, because he can swallow all the incense of ecstasy inhaled into his body by swallowing all things. However, Long Xiaoyao was not in a hurry to expose the White Tiger Emperor's conspiracy. He pretended not to know yet and followed General Zhu in. He wanted to expose the White Tiger Emperor's true colors. Queen. In the Queen's bedroom, a maid ran towards the Queen's room and kept shouting at the same time. Xiaohong, why are you so panicked? The Queen heard the sound and came out and asked the maid Xiaohong. Zhu, General Zhu is here to see the Emperor, the maid Xiaohong said breathlessly. Brother, when you come to see the Emperor, just meet the Emperor. Why are you so panicked? The Queen asked in confusion. She knew that her eldest brother, as General Zhu, often came to see the White Tiger Emperor. She thought it was very normal and it was not anything special. But General Zhu also brought his wife, Miss Zhu's Huayan, Miss Zhu's Huking, and a few men and three women whom I have never seen before. I heard that the 3 men and 3 women were requested by General Zhu, Mrs. Zhu, Miss Zhu's Huayan, and second Miss Zhu's Huking to let the White Tiger Emperor remove Miss Zhu's Huayan and second Miss Zhu's Huking, and join His Highness the First Prince and second Miss Zhu's Huking. His Royal Highness's engagement, the maid Xiaohong told the Queen directly the news she had just heard. What? The Queen was extremely shocked when she heard what the maid Xiaohong said. This was the first time she heard the news. Are you sure? The Queen asked the maid Xiaohong in disbelief. I'm sure the news has spread in the palace now. I just saw General Zhu and the others walking towards the palace with my own eyes, the maid Xiaohong said with great certainty. Brother, isn't this nonsense? How could the Emperor agree to terminate Zhu King and Huayan's engagement with Weiss and Mu Bei? The Queen stamped her feet angrily, and then walked out of her bedroom, intending to check out the situation. Queen, wait a moment, there are guards watching outside your bedroom, the maid Xiaohong reminded the Queen, but before she finished speaking, the Queen had already walked out of the room and came to the door of the bedroom. Queen, where are you going? Sure enough, as soon as the Queen walked out of the palace gate, 2 guards stopped her and asked. Behind the 2 guards, there was a large group of guards. What are you doing? Do I still need to report to you where I am going? The Queen asked angrily. Get out of my way quickly, then, the Queen ordered. I'm sorry, Queen, The emperor has ordered that you can't go anywhere today and must stay in your bedroom. Instead of giving way to the queen, the two guards said to the queen. Is it? After hearing the words of the two guards, the queen began to feel uneasy. What if I have to go? Then please ask the queen to step over our corpses. The two guards refused to give up, and the other guards also started to move. It is good. The queen turned around and took a few steps back. Buzz! Whoosh! Immediately afterwards, the queen directly mobilized her soul power, summoned the soul ring, and quickly summoned her martial soul, the ghost civet cat, and jumped away. Hurry up. We must not let the queen go to the main hall. Buzz! Shhhhhhh. The imperial guards also immediately summoned their soul rings and martial spirits and chased after the queen. At the same time, Long Xiaoyao and his party came to the main hall. The White Tiger Emperor on the throne, as well as Davis and Imube on both sides of him, were looking at Long Xiaoyao and his party with a sinister smile, because they knew that the incense of gloomy ecstasy had filled the entire hall, and Long Xiaoyao and his party had inhaled the gloomy scent. The ecstasy is fragrant. They felt that as long as they waited for the medicine to take effect, Long Xiaoyao and his party would be at their mercy. How could those three women be so beautiful? Gollum. When Emperor White Tiger saw the beautiful faces, perfect and sexy figures, and noble temperament of Biji, Ziji and Arao, his eyes suddenly shone and he swallowed a big mouthful of saliva. They are all mine. Only I can be worthy of such a beautiful woman. At this moment, the White Tiger Emperor has made up his mind. After the incense of ecstasy takes effect, he will snatch Biji, Ziji and Arao away from Long Xiaoyao's hands and turn them into his women. See the White Tiger Emperor, General Zhu, Mrs. Zhu, Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan all said respectfully to the White Tiger Emperor, and then planned to kneel down to the White Tiger Emperor. However, Long Xiaoyao does not intend to kneel down to the White Tiger Emperor, because he is an aspiring young man who has traveled through time in the 21st century and will not kneel down to anyone, not even the White Tiger Emperor. Unless it's when fighting a goddess and unlocking new poses. Biji, Ziji and Arao did not intend to kneel down and worship the White Tiger Emperor, because they were Long Xiaoyao's women, and they would not kneel down even if he was a god. Unless it's a battle with Long Xiaoyao and unlocking new postures. And many more, before General Zhu, Mrs. Zhu, Zhu's Huking, and Zhu's Huayan could kneel down, Long Xiaoyao grabbed the jade arms of Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan who were closest to him in time, and said at the same time, stopping General Zhu, Mrs. Zhu, Zhu's Huking, and Zhu's Huayan. Kneel down to Emperor White Tiger. Long Xiaoyao has been looking at the White Tiger Emperor. Of course he noticed the hungry look in the White Tiger Emperor's eyes when he saw Biji, Ziji and Arao. Of course he knew what the White Tiger Emperor planned to do. Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan are Long Xiaoyao's future goddesses, and General Zhu and Mrs. Zhu are the parents of his future goddess. He didn't care before, but now, how could he let Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan, as well as General Zhu and Madame Zhu kneel down to Emperor White Tiger? How dare you not kneel down and worship me when you see my father? Davis roared with a smile. You still dare to interrupt me? Long Xiaoyao looked at Davis and said coldly, with endless killing intent in his eyes. Boom. Davis suddenly felt as if he was being targeted by the god of death. He recalled the fear of being dominated by Long Xiaoyao 4 days ago. He was so frightened that his legs became weak and he knelt directly on the ground. His whole body was shaking. And his back and cold sweat broke out on my forehead, and I didn't dare to move. What a useless guy. The White Tiger Emperor was very disappointed when he saw that Davis was so frightened that he fell to his knees and could not move because of Long Xiaoyao's look. Emperor White Tiger, let's not talk nonsense. I believe you should also know why we are here. Can you tell us your answer? Long Xiaoyao ignored Davis and let go of Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan's jade arms. He took a step forward, stared into the eyes of the White Tiger Emperor, and asked coldly. What a terrifying killing intent. Who the hell is this guy? The White Tiger Emperor was stared at by Long Xiaoyao and felt Long Xiaoyao's extremely terrifying murderous intention. He was very surprised. He never thought that Long Xiaoyao would have such terrifying murderous intention at such a young age. Before I answer your question, please answer my question first. Who are you? Why do you want to meddle in other people's business? Why do you want to help the Zhu family to let me break the engagement between Weiss and Mubei and Huayan and Zhuking? You want me to abolish the rules of marriage between the Dai family and the Zhu family for generations? Emperor White Tiger asked Long Xiaoyao. Firstly, he wanted to know Long Xiaoyao's background. Secondly, he was really curious about why Long Xiaoyao wanted to help the Zhu family. Thirdly, he wanted to wait for the incense of gloomy ecstasy to take effect, so that Long Xiaoyao and his party could change. A lamb to the slaughter. End of this chapter. Chapter 160 Crisis. Everyone was poisoned? I'm just an ordinary doctor without any strong background. The reason why I want to help them is because they asked me to help them, Long Xiaoyao said directly and concisely. He was too lazy to explain so much to the White Tiger Emperor. How? What's your answer? Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao asked Emperor White Tiger calmly. What if I say I don't agree? What are you going to do? The White Tiger Emperor showed a proud smile and asked Long Xiaoyao with a smile. He heard Long Xiaoyao say that he was just an ordinary doctor without any strong background, and he believed that the ecstasy incense had completely entered the bodies of Dao Long Xiaoyao and his party, and he was now very confident. Davis and Daimyo Bei also showed proud smiles, quietly waiting for the incense to take effect. It's very simple. I'll beat you until you agree, Long Xiaoyao said concisely and concisely. Ha ha ha! After hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, the White Tiger Emperor burst into laughter, as if he had eaten Zuan Mei and couldn't stop at all. Ha ha ha! Davis and Daimyo Bei also laughed loudly, as if they had drunk a pulse and couldn't stop at all. How dare you laugh? Do you want to die? When ZG saw the White Tiger Emperor, Davis and Daimyo Bei, they laughed directly after hearing Long Xiaoyao's words. She felt very angry and roared at the White Tiger Emperor, Davis and Daimyo Bei. ZG took a step forward. She wanted to immediately mobilize her soul power to explode and show her power to Emperor White Tiger, Davis and Daimyo Bei. But not only did she find that she couldn't mobilize her soul power, she couldn't even mobilize her mental power. She was also so weak that she staggered and almost fell to the ground. She tried her best to stabilize her body, but just standing up was already very strenuous. What's wrong? Up, BG, a row. The three-eyed golden eagle in BG's arms, Zhu's Huking, Zhu's Huayan, General Zhu, and Mrs. Zhu were all puzzled as to why ZG suddenly stumbled. Then they all felt weak. Just standing they already need to try their best. Why can't I mobilize my soul power and mental power? They soon discovered that they were now unable to mobilize their soul power and mental power, and they were all very puzzled. Long Xiaoyao immediately cast the illusion, making him look like BG and others, who had been intoxicated by the incense of ecstasy. He could no longer mobilize soul power and mental power, and was completely powerless. He pretended that he had exhausted all his strength just by standing still. He looked like he was working hard. Is there poison in the air in this hall, colorless and odorless, and it conceal the soul and mental power? It makes us powerless. Is it the fragrance of ecstasy? The fragrance of ecstasy? Long Xiaoyao pretended not to know anything, and asked the White Tiger Emperor in surprise and effort. As expected of a doctor even more powerful than Yao Lao, he actually guessed immediately that the air in this hall is filled with the fragrance of ecstasy. Emperor White Tiger praised Long Xiaoyao without hesitation. Davis and Daimyo Bei were also very surprised. They did not expect that Long Xiaoyao could guess it immediately. The fragrance of ecstasy, BG, ZG, Three-Eyed Jinni, Zhu's Huking, and Zhu's Huayan were all puzzled because they had never heard of the fragrance of ecstasy. However, they also knew from Long Xiaoyao's words and their current physical conditions that the incense of ecstasy was a very powerful poison, and they were now poisoned by it. General Zhu and Mrs. Zhu have heard of the incense of ecstasy and know its medicinal effects. But they never expected that the White Tiger Emperor would actually use the dark ecstasy incense to deal with them, and they were very shocked. At the same time, they also felt that they would probably be finished today. What? After a while, Aro, Zhu's Huking, Zhu's Huayan, and Mrs. Zhu were already at a lower level and could not withstand the power of the incense. One after another, they sat down on the ground helplessly. However, BG, ZG and General Zhu, who had experienced hundreds of battles, were still able to stand and did not fall to the ground. Long Xiaoyao pretended to try his best and stand desperately. Zhu Yuanson, you are so brave. You actually dare to ask a group of outsiders to join them in forcing me to annul the engagement between Weiss and Mu Bei, and Zhuayan and Zhuking. You also want to force me to abolish the rule that our children of the Dai family will marry your children of the Zhu family for generations to come, and you actually dare to agree to Zhu Yuanson and the others and come here with them to force me. You all deserve to die, the White Tiger Emperor said righteously. Zhu Yuanzhen is the name of General Zhu Da, the despicable and cowardly coward. He actually used poison to harm us. How dare he call himself the White Tiger Emperor? Bah, if you dare, help us detoxify, and see if I don't beat you to pieces, ZG roared at the White Tiger Emperor. She felt extremely angry. She wanted to stimulate the White Tiger Emperor and let him detoxify them. This is called war, but who makes you have no brains? Before the White Tiger Emperor could speak, Davis smiled and said to ZG. That's right, brains are more important than strength. Dai Mubei also showed a proud smile. What a wild woman. I like her. The White Tiger Emperor looked at ZG, licked the corners of his mouth, and showed a wolf-like smile. Bah! Bastard! When ZG saw the White Tiger Emperor smile, she didn't feel the slightest fear. She just felt extremely disgusted and extremely angry. Now she wanted to tear the White Tiger Emperor into pieces. Don't worry, beauty, I won't kill you immediately. I will let you know how powerful I am first. Ha ha ha! Emperor White Tiger, instead of feeling angry about ZG's attitude towards him, felt very excited. When Long Xiaoyao heard what the White Tiger Emperor said to ZG and saw the way the White Tiger Emperor looked at ZG, he felt extremely angry. He already wanted to kill the White Tiger Emperor. Brother. Sister-in-law. Zhuan. Zhuking. At this moment, the queen came outside the hall. She saw Zhu Yuanzhen standing on the ground with all his strength, while Mrs. Zhu, Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Zhuan were lying on the ground weakly. She shouted very worriedly and rushed towards them at the same time. Queen, Mother, the White Tiger Emperor, Davis and Dai Mubei were all surprised when they saw the queen coming. Long Xiaoyao heard that the queen was coming and knew that the queen was Zhu Yuanzhen's sister, Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Zhuan's aunt, and Zhu Yuanying was here. He temporarily gave up the idea of killing the White Tiger Emperor now, and planned to wait and see again to expose the White Tiger Emperor nature. Sister, don't come here, Zhu Yuanzhen shouted at Zhu Yuanying. He didn't want Zhu Yuanying to be intoxicated. Brother, sister-in-law, Zhuan, Zhuking, what's wrong with you? However, before Zhu Yuanzhen could finish speaking, Zhu Yuanying had already arrived in front of Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Zhuan and asked worriedly. Silly sister, the air in this hall is already full of the incense of ecstasy. We have all been succumbed to the incense of ecstasy, and you have also been succumbed to the incense of ecstasy, Zhu Yuanzhen said with difficulty and helplessness. The fragrance of ecstasy, Zhu Yuanying was very surprised. She had long noticed that something was wrong with Long Xiaoyao and his party, but the White Tiger Emperor, Davis and Dai Mubei were all fine. She now guessed that the White Tiger Emperor must have used the incense to deal with Long Xiaoyao and his party. Great Emperor, please let me go, Zhu Yuanying begged the White Tiger Emperor. Zhu Yuanying already knew the whole story, and she was very grateful to Long Xiaoyao, Biji, Ziji, and Ero for standing up for the Zhu family. But Zhu Yuanying knew the character and style of the White Tiger Emperor. When she saw the current situation, she felt that the only way at the moment was to beg the White Tiger Emperor to let Long Xiaoyao and his party go, otherwise everyone would die. End of this chapter. Chapter 161 The Ferocious White Tiger Emperor. Let them go, humph, impossible, they dare to come and persecute me and despise my majesty. All of them must die, otherwise where is my majesty? Wouldn't it be true that more people would dare to resist me in the future? Wouldn't it be that more people would come to persecute me? The White Tiger Emperor said righteously. At this moment, the incense of ecstasy that entered Zhu Yuanying's body began to take effect. She also felt that her whole body was weak and could not mobilize her soul and mental power. She was already trying her best just to stand. Great Emperor, you see that our Zhu family has been working hard for the Star Luo Empire for generations, and that our husband and wife have been in love for many years. Please spare them for a while and let them go. Zhu Yuanying tried her best to plead with the White Tiger Emperor. No way, the White Tiger Emperor said firmly. If you dare to continue to plead for them, I will kill you too. I will do what I say. The White Tiger Emperor stood up and roared toward Zhu Yuanying. Emperor White Tiger is a very domineering person and feels that the Star Luo Empire and even the entire Douluo continent should respect him. Therefore, Emperor White Tiger has no intention of letting Long Xiaoyao and his party go, nor does he intend to let Zhu Yuanzhen, Madame Zhu, Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Zhuan go. He wants to kill them all to let the world know the consequences of daring to resist him. To the White Tiger Emperor, Zhu Yuanying was just a chess piece used to ascend to the throne of the Star Luo Empire. Now Zhu Yuanying is of no use to the White Tiger Emperor. Emperor White Tiger felt extremely angry when he saw that Zhu Yuanying dared to go against him and wanted to use emotional cards to get him to let her go. He was indeed murderous towards Zhu Yuanying. It seems that in your eyes, I am really just a chess piece that has no effect, right? Zhu Yuanying felt extremely sad when she heard the warning from the White Tiger Emperor. She couldn't help but shed tears of sadness in her eyes, and she no longer respectfully addressed him as the White Tiger Emperor. The White Tiger Emperor didn't have any answer, but he also made his attitude clear. Then you can kill me too, Zhu Yuanying said desperately that she had given up on Emperor White Tiger now. Okay. Very good. If that's the case, then I will make it happen for you. The White Tiger Emperor did not expect that Zhu Yuanying would dare to go against him. He had already become murderous towards Zhu Yuanying and he did not mind killing Zhu Yuanying. Black Zetsu! Black Zetsu! Emperor White Tiger shouted, call out, call out. Exist. As soon as the White Tiger Emperor finished speaking, the brothers Heiju and Heimei came out of the darkness and came to the White Tiger Emperor. Father, please don't kill your mother. At this moment, Daimyo Bei immediately begged Emperor White Tiger. Father, I beg you, please don't kill your mother. Davis also begged the White Tiger Emperor. Zhu Yuanying is the biological mother of Daimyo Bei and Davis, and Zhu Yuanying is very kind to them. They also love Zhu Yuanying very much. They cannot watch the White Tiger Emperor kill Zhu Yuanying. I didn't expect Daimyo Bei and Davis to have some conscience. Long Xiaoyao was a little surprised when he saw this scene. He had no idea that Daimyo Bei and Davis would plead with the White Tiger Emperor for Zhu Yuanying. Weiss. Mu Bei. Zhu Yuanying was very moved when she saw Davis and Daimyo Bei interceding with the White Tiger Emperor for her, and smiled happily. Biji and others were also a little surprised. They did not expect that Daimyo Bei and Davis would actually plead with the White Tiger Emperor for Zhu Yuanying. What? You actually dare to go against me? Do you want to die with them? The White Tiger Emperor was very angry when he heard that Daimyo Bei and Davis were actually pleading for Zhu Yuanying, and coldly questioned Daimyo Bei and Davis. Davis and Daimyo Bei heard the angry and cold words of the White Tiger Emperor and felt the killing intent in the White Tiger Emperor's words. They felt very frightened and their bodies began to tremble uncontrollably. They knew that if they continued to plead for Zhu Yuanying, the White Tiger Emperor would really kill them. Daimyo Bei and Davis didn't want to die, nor did they want to die for Zhu Yuanying, so they didn't say anything more. They stepped aside obediently, looked at Zhu Yuanying reluctantly, and said nothing more. Weiss, Mu Bei, you don't have to blame yourself, you just need to live a good life, and never be like your father in the future, Zhu Yuanying told Davis and Daimyo Bei. Hearing Zhu Yuanying's words and looking at Zhu Yuanying, Daimyo Bei and Davis couldn't help but burst into tears. It's all your fault. If you hadn't suddenly appeared, my uncle, Xuan and Xiuqing wouldn't have asked you to force my father to break the engagement with us. If you hadn't come to force my father, my mother would not have been executed by my father just to plead for you. Suddenly, Davis and Daimyo Bei looked at Long Xiaoyao, Biji, Ziji in a row, as well as the three-eyed golden beast lying in Biji's arms, and shouted loudly to Long Xiaoyao and his party. They put everything as blamed on Long Xiaoyao and his party. Davis and Daimyo Bei's eyes turned red as they talked. Everyone was shocked. They didn't expect Davis and Daimyo Bei to blame everything on Long Xiaoyao and his group. I will kill you with my own hands. After saying that, Davis and Daimyo Bei took out a small dagger and rushed towards Long Xiaoyao and his party, intending to kill Long Xiaoyao and his party themselves. Hey Zetsu, stop these two. At this moment, the White Tiger Emperor spoke. Yes, Black Ju received the order from the White Tiger Emperor and turned into a black shadow, rushing towards Davis and Daimyo Bei. He grabbed the clothes on the back of Davis with one hand and Daimyo Bei's clothes with the other, like an eagle. He picked up Davis and Daimyo Bei like chickens. Let me go, I'm going to kill them with my own hands. Davis and Daimyo Bei struggled desperately, trying to break free from Heiju's grasp. But no matter how hard they struggled, they couldn't break free from Heiju's grasp. I can't let you kill those three little beauties. I want them to become my women. The White Tiger Emperor looked at Biji, Ziji and Arao, smiled and said to Davis and Daimyo Bei. Hey Mie, except for those three little beauties, everyone else was killed by me. The White Tiger Emperor still looked at Biji, Ziji and Arao, and said to Heimei with a smile. Yes, call out. Heimei replied respectfully, and then directly condensed a soul power knife and rushed directly towards Long Xiaoyao. He planned to kill everyone ordered by Emperor White Tiger to kill, starting from Long Xiaoyao, Master Dragon, General Zhu, and MRS Zhu saw Mie rushing directly towards Long Xiaoyao. They were a little worried for Long Xiaoyao, felt remorseful, and felt helpless, because they felt that Long Xiaoyao should have also been poisoned by the incense of ecstasy, and he would definitely die. Happy, Brother Xiaoyao, Biji, Ziji, Aro, Three-Eyed Golden Raider, Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan felt extremely worried when they saw Mie rushing towards Long Xiaoyao at high speed, so they just called Long Xiaoyao by the name they would call Long Xiaoyao in private. None of them knew that Long Xiaoyao was not afraid of any poison, and they also thought that Long Xiaoyao would definitely die if he was poisoned by the incense of ecstasy. Long Xiaoyao pretended to turn to his right with all his strength, trying to avoid Mie's attack. In fact, in order to avoid Mie's sight, he quietly summoned a sharp weapon from the space ring. The kitchen knife was held in his right hand. Kitchen knife. BG, ZG, Arrow, Three-Eyed Jinny, Zhu's Huking, Zhu's Huayan, Zhu Yuansong, Madame Zhu, and Zhu Yuanying were all shocked when they saw Long Xiaoyao suddenly take out a sharp kitchen knife. Want to escape? You can't escape. Mie didn't notice that Long Xiaoyao had summoned a sharp kitchen knife. Thinking that Long Xiaoyao was trying to escape, Mie immediately increased his speed and came to Long Xiaoyao in front of him. He directly stabbed Long Xiaoyao with his soul knife. Left temple. End of this chapter. Chapter 162, Continuous Killing of Black and Black Jew. Just when Mie's soul knife was only, centimeters away from Long Xiaoyao's left temple, Long Xiaoyao suddenly squatted down with force and perfectly dodged Mie's soul knife. At the same time, Long Xiaoyao held a sharp kitchen knife in his right hand and slashed at Mie's neck at an extremely tricky angle. Long Xiaoyao's sword was as fast as lightning. In addition, Mie just thought that he had been able to kill Long Xiaoyao. He had no idea that Long Xiaoyao could not only dodge his attack, but also attack him at the same time. They were not prepared to dodge at all, nor did they launch a defense, and there was no time to escape. Long Xiaoyao directly cut off Mie's neck with a kitchen knife in his hand. Mie's head flew through his neck along with Long Xiaoyao's kitchen knife, and also flew away from his neck. The broken neck of Mie's body immediately began to spurt out bright red blood, and at the same time, the headless body slowly fell forward. Mie's head also fell towards the ground, his eyes were still open, and he didn't know how he died until he died. What? Everyone was extremely shocked when they saw this scene, and at the same time they were very puzzled. They didn't understand why Long Xiaoyao was able to kill Mie instantly when he had also inhaled the incense of ecstasy. So much so that the White Tiger Emperor, Davis, Daimyo Bei, Zhu Yuansong, Madame Zhu, and Zhu Yuanying all ignored that BG, and the others just called Long Xiaoyao and Brother Xiaoyao. Boom, hum. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao put away the kitchen knife and unleashed all his level, momentum. At the same time, he summoned the Suzuki wings and the god-killing sword of destruction, all of which glowed with blood-red light. But the difference is that the blood-red light of Suzuki wings is sacred and noble, making people feel awe. The blood-red light of the god-killing blade of destruction contains a terrifying aura of destruction, which is daunting and makes people uncontrollably terrified. Plop. Whoosh. The secret of the god-killing sword of destruction. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao waved with Suzuki wings, turned into a red and white light, and quickly rushed towards Heiju, who was carrying Davis and Daimyo Bei. At the same time, he began to inject a large amount of soul power into the destruction god-killing sword, prepare to kill Black Zetsu instantly. Great. Xiaoyao is fine, Brother Xiaoyao is okay. BG, ZG, Aro, Three-Eyed Jinny, Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan saw the scene and knew that Long Xiaoyao should not be affected by the gloomy ecstasy, so they all smiled. Young Master Long can actually use his soul power. Hasn't he been affected by the incense of ecstasy? Zhu Yuansong, Mrs. Zhu, and Zhu Yuanying were all shocked when they saw this scene, and they also felt a lot more relaxed. Why can Mr. Long use his soul power? Emperor White Tiger was shocked when he saw this scene, and at the same time he felt uneasy in his heart. Younger brother, Heiju looked at the heads and corpses that were slowly falling to the ground, and felt extremely angry. What? Heiju directly let go of Davis and Daimyo Bei, causing Davis and Daimyo to fall heavily to the ground and couldn't help but scream in pain. "I am going to kill you." Heiju ignored Davis and Daimyo, looked at Long Xiaoyao flying towards him, and roared angrily, "Boom!" Buzz! Immediately afterwards, Heiju exploded with all his momentum, and 9 soul rings, yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, 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 and black, rose rapidly under his feet. But before Heiju could summon his martial spirit, Long Xiaoyao had already flown in front of Heiju. Seeing that it was too late to activate his martial spirit, Heiju immediately mobilized his soul power and built a soul power barrier, hoping to defend against Long Xiaoyao's attack. Annihilation. Long Xiaoyao's waist and horse merged into one, concentrating all the strength of his body, and directly slashed at Heiju with all his strength. Long Xiaoyao's current level has reached level, and he still uses annihilation with all his strength. Although Heiju is level 95, his soul power and mental power are far inferior to Long Xiaoyao's, and he has not had time to use his soul skills, so he cannot defend himself against Long Xiaoyao's annihilation. Boom, boom. Long Xiaoyao slashed directly at the soul power barrier built by Heiju, directly destroying Heiju's defensive barrier. Long Xiaoyao directly held the god-killing saber of destruction and looked towards Heiju. What? Boom. Heiju's physical body couldn't withstand Long Xiaoyao's annihilation at all. With a scream, he was directly chopped in trashes by Long Xiaoyao's annihilation, and no bones remained. Ka. But Long Xiaoyao's annihilation didn't cut much at all. It cut a deep crack on the floor of the hall, passed through the side of the White Tiger Emperor's throne, and directly bombarded the wall behind. Boom! A big hole was created in the wall by Long Xiaoyao's annihilation, and the scenery outside the hall could be seen. So strong, Zhu Zhuking, Zhu Huiyan, Zhu Yuansong, Madame Zhu, Zhu Yuanying, Davis, Daimyo, and the White Tiger Emperor were extremely shocked when they saw Long Xiaoyao kill Heimye and then Heiju instantly. They looked at the big hole in the wall. None of them expected that Long Xiaoyao, who was only at level 95, could actually kill 2 titled Douluo who had reached level, Heimye and Heiju, instantly. Davis and Daimyo looked at Long Xiaoyao, who was standing between them, holding the god-killing saber of destruction, and felt deep fear as the god-killing saber of destruction exuded a terrifying aura of destruction. Their bodies were shaking uncontrollably, cold sweat broke out on their backs, and they did not dare to move, for fear that Long Xiaoyao would stare at them. "It's just you." Long Xiaoyao ignored Davis and Daimyo on both sides, but looked at the White Tiger Emperor and said coldly. Then Long Xiaoyao held the god-killing saber of destruction and walked towards the White Tiger Emperor step by step. Emperor White Tiger was stared at by Long Xiaoyao, as if he was being targeted by the god of death. In addition, seeing Long Xiaoyao kill Heimye and Heiju in a row, he felt extremely frightened and his body became a little stiff. He knew that he was not Long Xiaoyao's opponent. Moreover, Emperor White Tiger had just seen Long Xiaoyao's speed, and he knew that it was impossible for him to escape from Long Xiaoyao's hands. Shouldn't you be intoxicated by the incense of ecstasy? Why are you okay? Emperor White Tiger asked Long Xiaoyao in a trembling voice. After hearing Emperor White Tiger's question, everyone looked at Long Xiaoyao, and they were all very curious about it. But Long Xiaoyao did not answer the White Tiger Emperor's question, but continued to hold the destruction god-killing sword and slowly walked towards the White Tiger Emperor step by step. "Don't you want me to terminate the engagement between Weiss and Mubei, Zhuyan and Zhuking, and abolish the rule that the children of the Zhu family must marry the children of our Dai family for generations? I promise you now, I will tell the world immediately." The White Tiger Emperor said one after another that he was extremely scared now. However, Long Xiaoyao remained silent, holding the god-killing saber of destruction and approaching the White Tiger Emperor step by step. "What do you want? Money? Status? Women? Cultivation resources? You tell me, I will definitely give it to you." Emperor White Tiger asked Long Xiaoyao one after another in fear. He just wanted to survive now. "It's too late. You dare to take advantage of beer, Zir and Rower, and you dare to order people to kill all of us. I just want your life now," Long Xiaoyao said coldly, then walked towards the White Tiger Emperor step by step with the destruction god-killing sword in hand. End of this chapter. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 163 Crisis, Brigitte and Ziji have become hostages. Happy, brother Xiaoyao, Biji, Ziji, Aro, Three-Eyed Jinni, Zhu Huking and Zhu Huayan were all very happy when they heard Long Xiaoyao's words, and they all showed very happy smiles. Master Dragon, Zhu Yuansong, Mrs. Zhu, and Zhu Yuanying heard Long Xiaoyao's words and all knew that Long Xiaoyao was a person who turned his anger into beauty. Will he kill us too later? Davis and Daimyube were very scared when they heard Long Xiaoyao's words, because they had just wanted to kill Long Xiaoyao, Biji, Ziji and Arao. They were all very worried that after Long Xiaoyao killed the White Tiger Emperor, we'll start to kill them. I am the Emperor of the Star Luo Empire. In my palace, there are thousands of guards who have experienced hundreds of battles. If you dare to kill me, do you think you can still walk out of my palace today? Buzz! The White Tiger Emperor roared at Long Xiaoyao, trying to scare Long Xiaoyao away. At the same time, under the White Tiger Emperor's feet, 9 soul rings, yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, 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 and black, rose rapidly, condensing the White Tiger martial spirit and getting ready for battle. Because Emperor White Tiger looked into Long Xiaoyao's eyes and felt Long Xiaoyao's killing intent, he felt that Long Xiaoyao would not be afraid of his threat and would not give up killing him. You don't need to worry about that, call out, Long Xiaoyao directly carried the god-killing sword of destruction, waved the Suzuki wings, and rushed towards the White Tiger Emperor. At the same time, he injected a large amount of soul power into the god-destroying sword of destruction, and the god-slaying sword of destruction also lit up, emitting a dazzling blood-red light all over his body. The 6th soul skill, White Tiger Destroyer, Emperor White Tiger directly exploded with a large amount of soul power and used his 6th soul skill. Buzz! I saw the White Tiger Emperor leaping up, hearing the sound in the air, and a dazzling golden light erupted all over his body. The thick golden lights crossed each other and exploded, quickly forming a huge killing character in the air, exuding a powerful momentum. Go to hell! The White Tiger Emperor pushed Long Xiaoyao, who was attacking him, with both hands, and the golden word kill also quickly attacked Long Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao looked at the word kill coming towards him, without any fear or flinching, he still rushed straight towards the White Tiger Emperor. Boom! Just when the character of killing was about to hit Long Xiaoyao slashed hard with the god-killing sword of destruction, splitting the character of killing directly, and exploded, turning into a shock wave that rushed in all directions. Long Xiaoyao did not stop there, still holding the god-killing saber of destruction and rushing towards the White Tiger Emperor. What? Davis and Daimyube, who were closer, were unable to block the powerful shock wave. They were directly rushed downwards by the powerful shock wave, while constantly letting out painful wails. Brother Xiaoyao is so awesome. Zhu Huking and Zhu Huayan were very surprised when they saw this scene. Because although they knew that Long Xiaoyao was very powerful, they were still extremely shocked when they saw Long Xiaoyao's battle with their own eyes. Also shocked were Zhu Yuansong, Mrs. Zhu and Zhu Yuanying. Of course it is, Biji, Ziji, Aro and the Three-Eyed Golden Eagle all showed proud smiles. The 7th soul skill, the real body of the White Tiger, Emperor White Tiger saw that Long Xiaoyao had directly slashed his 6th soul skill, and was still attacking him, so he directly used his 7th soul skill. I saw a large amount of soul power bursting out from the White Tiger Emperor's body, and then quickly transformed into a huge white tiger with the White Tiger Emperor as the center, exuding a powerful aura. At this moment, Long Xiaoyao had already arrived in front of Emperor White Tiger. Drink. The White Tiger Emperor directly controlled the White Tiger's real body to raise his right front paw, showed his sharp claws, and grabbed Long Xiaoyao with all his strength. Plop. Long Xiaoyao directly waved the Suzuki wings, and when the sharp claws of the White Tiger Avatar were about to catch him, he dodged perfectly, and at the same time, he quickly slashed at the White Tiger Avatar's forearm with all his strength. Puff. Emperor White Tiger had no time to avoid it, and the forearm of White Tiger's real body was cut off by Long Xiaoyao. What? AWW, the White Tiger Emperor and the White Tiger Avatar immediately let out painful wails, because the pain felt by the White Tiger Avatar would also be transmitted to the White Tiger Emperor, who used the White Tiger Avatar. The broken forearm of White Tiger's real body also dissipated. Long Xiaoyao did not give the White Tiger Emperor a chance to breathe. He continued to hold the god-killing sword of destruction, waved the Suzaku wings, and continued to launch a fierce attack on the White Tiger Emperor. Under Long Xiaoyao's fierce attack, the White Tiger Emperor was suppressed and beaten by Long Xiaoyao. The White Tiger's real body also suffered more and more injuries. There was no chance to breathe, and there was no time to accumulate energy to display the powerful 8th soul skill and the 9th soul skill. Father, Davis and Daimyo finally managed to stabilize their bodies. They were very worried when they saw the White Tiger Emperor being pressed everywhere by Long Xiaoyao. Because they all felt that after Long Xiaoyao killed Emperor White Tiger, it would be their turn next. Davis and Daimyo stood up desperately, holding small daggers. One rushed towards BG, and the other rushed towards ZG Boom. After a while, Long Xiaoyao had chopped apart the White Tiger's true form of the White Tiger Emperor, and directly kicked the White Tiger Emperor to the ground, making a big hole. What? Puff! The White Tiger Emperor immediately let out a painful scream and vomited a large mouthful of blood. Stop it, or I'll kill your woman. Just when Long Xiaoyao was about to pursue the victory and kill the White Tiger Emperor, Davis put a small dagger on ZG's neck. Daimyo put a small dagger on ZG's neck and shouted loudly to Long Xiaoyao Road. Xiaoyao, I'm sorry. Biji and Ziji both shed tears and said to Long Xiaoyao with great self-blame. None of them expected that instead of helping Long Xiaoyao, they would become a burden to Long Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao stopped and looked at Biji and Ziji who were shedding tears. He clenched his hands and felt extremely angry. Sister Bridget, Sister Ziji, Miss Bridget, Miss Ziji, Arao, 3-eyed Jinai, Zuz Huking, Zuz Huayan, Zhu Yuansong, Madame Zhu, and Zhu Yuanying all saw Davis and Daimyo holding small daggers on the necks of Biji and Ziji. They all wanted to stop Daimyo, Weiss and Daimyo. But with the ecstasy in their bodies, they were unable to stop Davis and Daimyo. Biji and Ziji also saw Davis and Daimyo rushing towards them just now, but they could only watch as Davis and Daimyo rushed towards them, and then use them as hostages to threaten Long Xiaoyao. Weiss, Mubei, let go of Miss Biji and Miss Ziji, Zhu Yuanying shouted at Davis and Daimyo with all her strength. Impossible. Davis and Daimyo shouted at Zhu Yuanying that they planned to use Biji and Ziji as hostages so that the White Tiger Emperor could kill Long Xiaoyao. Ha ha ha. Weiss, Mubei, you did a great job. When the White Tiger Emperor saw this scene, he burst into laughter and stood up from the pit with all his strength. Master Long, if you still dare to use any soul power, I will ask Weiss and Mubei to kill them immediately, Emperor White Tiger said to Long Xiaoyao with a sinister smile. When Long Xiaoyao heard the words of the White Tiger Emperor, he put away the god-killing sword of destruction with a look of helplessness. At the same time, he also put away the Suzaku wings and slowly fell from the sky. Ha ha ha! The White Tiger Emperor, Davis and Daimyo all showed proud smiles when they saw Long Xiaoyao put away the god-destroying sword and Suzaku wings. Happy, when Bridget and Ziji saw this scene, they felt even more guilty and couldn't stop their tears from flowing out. Arao, 3-eyed Jinayan, Zuz Huking, Zuz Huayan, Zhu Yuansong, Madame Zhu, and Zhu Yuanying also felt very guilty. If they could stop Davis and Daimyo, the situation would not be like this. End of this chapter? Chapter 164 Killing Davis, Daimyo and the White Tiger Emperor. Escape. However, just when everyone thought the situation was decided, Long Xiaoyao suddenly activated his chaotic left leg soul bone and directly used the soul skill that brought him to escape. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao escaped into the chaotic space and disappeared. What's the situation? Except for BG, ZG and Aro, everyone was extremely shocked when they saw Long Xiaoyao suddenly disappearing. Because only BG, ZG and Aro were present and had seen Long Xiaoyao use escape. Kill them quickly, the White Tiger Emperor shouted loudly at Davis and Daimyo, although he didn't know why Long Xiaoyao suddenly disappeared. But the White Tiger Emperor knew that Long Xiaoyao's primary goal was to save BG and ZG from the hands of Davis and Daimyo. In this case, the only choice is to let Davis and Daimyo kill BG and ZG. However, before the White Tiger Emperor finished speaking, Long Xiaoyao had already escaped from the chaotic space and was between Davis and Daimyo. Before Davis and Daimyo could react, Long Xiaoyao grabbed their necks and lifted them up forcefully. They suddenly felt extremely painful in their necks and had difficulty breathing. Clank. The small daggers in the hands of Davis and Daimyo were lifted up by Long Xiaoyao along with them, but they were unable to hold them and fell to the ground. There is a road to heaven but you don't take it. There is no door to hell but you just come to it. How dare you make Beer and Zir cry? I want your lives, Long Xiaoyao said coldly to Davis and Daimyo, and then directly used Devour All Things to start devouring the souls of Davis and Daimyo. Originally, Long Xiaoyao saw that Davis and Daimyo were asking the White Tiger Emperor for Zhu Yuanying, and that Davis and Daimyo were still just children. He had already planned to let Davis and Daimyo go, otherwise Davis and Daimyo had already been killed. But Long Xiaoyao didn't expect that Davis and Daimyo would take advantage of his battle with the White Tiger Emperor to take BG and ZG as hostages, forcing him to give up resistance and making BG and ZG cry. He has now decided to kill Davis and Daimyo. Davis and Daimyo suddenly felt extremely painful, but their necks were pinched by Long Xiaoyao and they were unable to scream in pain. However, the entire bodies of Davis and Daimyo were twitching continuously, their orifices were bleeding, and they looked like they were in severe pain. Davis and Daimyo now regretted it very much. If they had known that Long Xiaoyao could suddenly come behind them in an instant, they would never have taken BG and ZG as hostages. Instead, he took advantage of Long Xiaoyao's fight with Emperor Beihu and fled outside the hall. Happy, BG, ZG and Era heard Long Xiaoyao's words and saw this scene, and they were all very moved, especially BG and ZG. Brother Xiaoyao, the three-eyed golden eagle, Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Zhuain were all very moved when they heard Long Xiaoyao's words and saw this scene. Zhu Yuanzhan and Mrs. Zhu were also very moved. At the same time, they were also very shocked. They did not expect that Long Xiaoyao could come directly between Davis and Daimyo almost in an instant. Weiss, Mu Bei, when Zhu Yuanying saw this scene, she felt very sorry for Davis and Daimyo. But Zhu Yuanying, like BG and other women, did not intercede with Long Xiaoyao for Davis and Daimyo, because they all knew that if Long Xiaoyao hadn't escaped, all of them would have been killed by Davis and Daimyo. Long Xiaoyao had done nothing wrong. Oops, when the White Tiger Emperor saw this scene, without thinking, he walked directly in the air and fled towards the big hole that Long Xiaoyao had just cut on the wall behind him. Because Emperor White Tiger knew that after Long Xiaoyao killed Davis and Daimyo, it would be his turn soon. Want to escape? Escape. Long Xiaoyao discovered the White Tiger Emperor who was escaping. He directly let go of the necks of Davis and Daimyo, used escape again, and escaped directly into the chaotic space. At this time, the souls of Davis and Daimyo had been completely devoured by Long Xiaoyao, and they had both turned into corpses, but their eyes were still open and they refused to close their eyes. The bodies of Davis and Daimyo lost their support and fell to the ground because Long Xiaoyao released their necks. Boom. Boom. The bodies of Davis and Daimyo fell heavily to the ground. Weiss, Mu Bei, Zhu Yuanying shed tears and crawled towards the bodies of Davis and Daimyo with all her strength, wanting to see if Davis and Daimyo were still alive. At the same time, Long Xiaoyao escaped from the chaotic space and came to the White Tiger Emperor. The only difference from before was that Long Xiaoyao had already displayed his 8 red soul rings, activated his Maokaf martial soul, and had already accumulated soul power. What? Emperor White Tiger felt extremely frightened in his heart and wanted nothing more than to escape. Although he had thought that Long Xiaoyao would suddenly appear in front of him, he had no idea that Long Xiaoyao had actually activated the Maoder martial spirit. Emperor White Tiger looked at the 8 red soul rings around Long Xiaoyao, and looked at Maoder Wuhan who felt Long Xiaoyao's body, and was extremely shocked. The 6th soul skill, Infinite Devouring, Long Xiaoyao stretched out his hands directly towards the White Tiger Emperor and used his 6th soul skill to devour infinitely. Buzz! A black vortex quickly appeared in front of Long Xiaoyao's hands, sucking the White Tiger Emperor into the black vortex with extremely powerful suction. Because Emperor White Tiger was not only seriously injured in the battle with Long Xiaoyao just now, but his soul power was also devoured by Long Xiaoyao's passive soul skill, devouring all creatures, which resulted in his soul power basically reaching the bottom. Moreover, the White Tiger Emperor ran away at full speed and had no time to draw back his strength. Coupled with the extremely powerful suction force of Long Xiaoyao's infinite swallowing, he was unable to resist Long Xiaoyao's infinite swallowing and was directly sucked into the black vortex. What? The White Tiger Emperor and his clothes were all swallowed up by Long Xiaoyao, leaving only a scream that echoed in the hall. 8. 8 red soul rings. Master Long is Long Xiaoyao. Zhu Yuanzhan and Mrs. Zhu were extremely shocked when they saw Long Xiaoyao's 8 red soul rings, and they also guessed Long Xiaoyao's identity. The great emperor was devoured at the same time. Thousands of imperial guards who were attracted by Long Xiaoyao's annihilation and Long Xiaoyao's battle with the White Tiger Emperor just arrived in front of the hall and saw the White Tiger Emperor being devoured alive by Long Xiaoyao. It was extremely shocking. General Zhu, you actually brought him here and let him devour the Emperor. General Zhu, you are not trying to get the Emperor to cancel the engagement between Miss Zhu's Huayan and Miss Zhu's Huking, but you are trying to get him to help you kill the Emperor and seize the throne of the Star Luo Empire. General Zhu, the Emperor treats you well. You are so cruel. The leaders of the Imperial Guards all told General Zhu that they all now felt that Zhu Yuanzhan brought Long Xiaoyao here to kill the White Tiger Emperor and become the Emperor of the Star Luo Empire. No. I've never thought of it that way. Stop explaining. You just watched him devour the White Tiger Emperor. Is there anything else to explain? Do you think we can't understand? Zhu Yuanzhan just wanted to explain, but before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by a leader of the Imperial Guard. The commander is right, General Zhu, stop pretending. The other Imperial Guards also followed suit. Boom. Next, our Xiaoyao sect will support General Zhu and become the Emperor of the Star Luo Empire. Those who submit will live, and those who resist will die. At this moment, Long Xiaoyao fell into the middle of Biji and the others and the Imperial Guards. Facing the Imperial Guards, he said coldly while mobilizing his soul power, "End of this chapter?" Period. Chapter 165 Fighting thousands of Imperial Guards alone. Xiaoyaoman. When the Imperial Guards heard Long Xiaoyao's words, they were extremely shocked, and at the same time they all had questions on their faces, because they had never heard of the Xiaoyao sect at all. The Imperial Guards were stared at by Long Xiaoyao and felt the powerful killing intent of Long Xiaoyao. They all felt a little bit of fear and couldn't help but take a few steps back. Even the leader of the Imperial Guard couldn't help but take a step or two back. Xiaoyaoman, support General Zhu, support father, help me, support brother Zan, support brother. BG and others not only had never heard of the Xiaoyao sect, but also had never heard that Long Xiaoyao wanted to help Zhu Yuanzhan become the Emperor of the Star Luo Empire. They were also shocked and had questions on their faces. Long Xiaoyao originally planned to establish his own force, and the name he thought of was Xiaoyaoman. However, Long Xiaoyao had no intention of killing the White Tiger Emperor and making Zhu Yuanzhan the Emperor of the Star Luo Empire. He originally planned to ask the White Tiger Emperor to dissolve Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan's engagement with Davis and Daimyo Bei, and then let the Zhu family cooperate with his Xiaoyao sect at the same time. He also wanted to see if he could cooperate with the White Tiger Emperor. For a moment. After all, Long Xiaoyao and the Xingluo Empire had a common enemy, which was the Spirit Hall. But Long Xiaoyao didn't expect that the White Tiger Emperor would use cunning tactics to kill them all, and also wanted to take Biji, Ziji and Arao as his own, so he killed the White Tiger Emperor directly. But now that the White Tiger Emperor is dead, and Davis and Daimyo Bei are also dead, Long Xiaoyao plans to support Zhu Yuanzhan to become the Emperor of the Star Luo Empire. In this way, his cooperation with the Zhu family is equivalent to cooperation with the Star Luo Empire. Kill two birds with one stone. Long Xiaoyao knew that even if he explained, the Imperial Guards would think that he planned to support Zhu Yuanzhan to become the Emperor of the Star Luo Empire, so he simply said it like this. Sure enough, you were invited by General Zhu to kill the Emperor and help him ascend to the throne of our Star Luo Empire. You can't even think of succeeding, no matter what kind of force your Xiaoyao sect is. Since you dare to come here to kill the Emperor, we will not let you walk out of the palace alive today. Kill them. Revenge the Emperor. Buzz. The leader of the Imperial Guard ordered, then directly activated his martial spirit and rushed out first. Kill. The third soul skill. The roar of the white wolf. The sixth soul skill. 10,000 grass arrows pierced the heart. Buzz. Immediately afterwards, other Imperial Guards also activated their martial spirits and displayed their soul skills. The melee ones rushed out, while the long-range ones directly used their soul skills to attack Long Xiaoyao and his party from a distance. The Imperial Guards in the palace are basically die-hard loyalists of Emperor White Tiger, and many of them are members of the Dai family. Although the Imperial Guards saw the 8 soul rings on Long Xiaoyao's body, saw Long Xiaoyao's majestic Maokaf martial spirit, and saw that Long Xiaoyao devoured the White Tiger Emperor. They knew that Long Xiaoyao was very powerful. But they felt that Long Xiaoyao was the only one. There were thousands of them, and the leaders of the 8 imperial guards were all contras. They felt that no matter how powerful Long Xiaoyao was, he could not be their opponent, so they rushed towards Long Xiaoyao. The 5th soul skill, White Tiger Fierce Wave. Long Xiaoyao directly used all his strength to sacrifice the 10-year-old sacred beast White Tiger, which became one of the 5th soul skills he obtained when it became his 5th soul ring, White Tiger Fierce Wave. The Maodo martial spirit directly behind Long Xiaoyao opened its mouth at the imperial guards and shot out a huge white beam, accompanied by an extremely violent wind, attacking the imperial guards with a devastating force. Bang bang bang. The long-range soul skills launched by the imperial guards were all exploded the moment they encountered Long Xiaoyao's White Tiger Fierce Wave. It's too late to dodge. Let's start our defense together. When the leaders of the imperial guards saw the incoming White Tiger storm, they directly exploded all the long-range soul skills of the imperial guards. It seemed that their power was not reduced at all, and they had no time to avoid it, so they ordered immediately. Yes, drink, buzz. After hearing the orders from the leaders of the Imperial Guard and seeing the approaching White Tiger storm, the Imperial Guards mobilized their soul power without any hesitation and quickly built a thick soul power barrier. Boom! The White Tiger Fierce Wave directly bombarded the soul barrier built by the Imperial Guards. Although Long Xiaoyao had used all his strength to use White Tiger Fierce Wave, he did not use it while using Maodo's true form. The Imperial Guards numbered over 1,000 people, 8 of whom were Soul Douluo, and hundreds of soul saints, the lowest of whom were above level. They temporarily withstood Long Xiaoyao's White Tiger Fierce Storm. Seeing this, Long Xiaoyao increased his soul power output and enhanced the power of White Tiger Li Fang Bo. Click click click. After a while, cracks began to appear in the soul barrier built by the Imperial Guards. Everyone, hold on, drink. The Imperial Guards used all their strength to resist. But even though the Imperial Guards had tried their best, they could not stop the soul power barrier from breaking. Boom! After a while, the soul barrier built by the guards was shattered. However, Long Xiaoyao's White Tiger Li Fang Bo, whose soul power was greatly reduced due to breaking through the soul power barrier, still had a strong power and rushed towards the Imperial Guards. What? The Imperial Guards were all thrown into the air by Long Xiaoyao's White Tiger Fierce Wave and flew backwards behind them. Many of them screamed in pain. Long Xiaoyao knew that his White Tiger Fierce Wave could not kill all the Imperial Guards, but he did not chase after the Imperial Guards, but flew straight towards Brigitte, Ziji, Aro and the three-eyed Golden Raider. Long Xiaoyao first came to Biji, helped Biji up, put Biji's chin up, lifted Biji's head, and looked down at Biji. Happy, Biji looked at Long Xiaoyao very puzzledly. She realized that Long Xiaoyao was planning to do something to her, and her pretty face turned slightly red. Hey, okay. As soon as Biji finished speaking, Long Xiaoyao kissed Biji's jade lips without saying a word, and then started sucking fiercely. Biji didn't expect that Long Xiaoyao would suddenly kiss her, and he would suck on her fiercely, unable to help but make a blood-boiling sound. Others were very puzzled and shocked when they saw Long Xiaoyao kissing Biji without saying anything at this time, and seemed to be sucking hard again. They couldn't understand why Long Xiaoyao did this. Biji couldn't figure out why Long Xiaoyao suddenly kissed her. She noticed that everyone around her was looking at her and Long Xiaoyao, and she felt very shy, and her pretty face turned red quickly. However, Biji quickly realized why Long Xiaoyao did this, because she felt that her soul power and spiritual power were flowing again, and the ecstasy fragrance in her body was being sucked and swallowed by Long Xiaoyao, so she cooperated. The dragon became free and happy. Xiaoyao, Sister Biji, there are so many people watching, you too, please pay attention, Ziji said to Long Xiaoyao, and Biji sourly that she was a little jealous of Biji. However, because Ziji's soul and mental power were sealed, she couldn't tell that Long Xiaoyao was helping Biji remove the ecstasy from her body. End of this chapter. Chapter 166, Devouring the Fragrance of Ecstasy. Is Xiaoyao detoxifying Sister Biji? Aro's pretty face also turned red. Like Ziji, she also envied Biji, but she knew that it was impossible for Long Xiaoyao to come in front of so many people before killing all the enemies. She came to kiss Brigitte. She guessed that Long Xiaoyao was probably helping Brigitte detoxify. Brother Xiaoyao, I'm still in the arms of your sister Biji. Can you consider me? The three-eyed golden tiger, who was trapped in the arms of Long Xiaoyao and Biji, finally tried his best to poke his head out, only to find that Long Xiaoyao was hugging Biji and kissing her. He couldn't help but complain, and at the same time he was a little envious of Biji. Sisters Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Zhuain watched Long Xiaoyao kiss Biji. They knew it was inappropriate for girls and they should not watch it, but they couldn't help but watch it secretly. But the difference between the two sisters was that Zhu Zhuain turned his head to one side, but couldn't help but turn his eyes to look secretly. Zhu Zhuking covered her eyes with her little hands, but she opened the gaps between her fingers and peeked through them. Is it that comfortable? Sisters Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Zhuain secretly watched Long Xiaoyao kiss Biji. They saw that Biji didn't resist at all, and she also showed her face and seemed to be very comfortable. The two sisters felt very novel, but they also felt very shy. Zhu Yuanzhan and Mrs. Zhu watched Long Xiaoyao kiss Biji, and they both felt ashamed of Long Xiaoyao's bold move. At the same time, they were also very puzzled as to why Long Xiaoyao did this. Zhu Yuanying held the bodies of Davis and Daimyubei in her arms, watching Long Xiaoyao kiss Biji, and felt a little ashamed for Long Xiaoyao. Zhu Yuanying did not hold a grudge against Long Xiaoyao for killing Davis and Daimyubei, because she knew that Long Xiaoyao was doing it for the Zhu family and indeed helped the Zhu family. And if it weren't for Long Xiaoyao's powerful strength, then all of them would be dead now, and they were killed by Davis and Daimyubei. Zhu Yuanying did not hold any grudge against Long Xiaoyao for killing the White Tiger Emperor, because she knew that the White Tiger Emperor only used her as a pawn, and it was Long Xiaoyao who freed her. Therefore, Zhu Yuanying was still very grateful to Long Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao did not stop kissing Biji because of Ziji's reminder and the three-eyed golden beast's complaints. Instead, he continued to help Biji inhale the dark ecstasy incense in her body as if no one else was watching, and soon almost finished it. Xiaoyao. Sister Biji. Please pay attention. After seeing the reminder, Long Xiaoyao and Biji were still kissing each other as if no one else was watching. Ziji's pretty face turned slightly red, showing her little tiger teeth, her face full of jealousy, and she reminded Long Xiaoyao and Biji again. Ziji wanted to rush up and separate Long Xiaoyao and Biji, but she was so overwhelmed with the ecstasy that she couldn't even stand up, let alone separate Long Xiaoyao and Biji. Zir, are you jealous? Just at this moment, Long Xiaoyao had helped Biji swallow up all the ecstasy fragrance in his body. He let go of Biji's jade lips and body, turned to Ziji, smiled and asked. At the same time he also walked towards Ziji. I'm not jealous of Sister Bridget. Hearing that Long Xiaoyao had directly seen through her mind and was still walking towards her. Ziji felt very shy and lowered her head to defend herself, completely unaware that she had stopped talking about it. Therefore, Ziji did not notice that Biji could stand on her own at this moment, and the incense of ecstasy in her body had been completely swallowed by Long Xiaoyao. When Biji heard Long Xiaoyao's words, she smiled sweetly. She knew that the next step was to help Ziji remove the ecstasy fragrance from her body. She also knew that Long Xiaoyao planned to tease Ziji, but she did not expose Long Xiaoyao. Brother Xiaoyao plans to kiss Sister Ziji again. The three-eyed Jinni watched Long Xiaoyao walking towards Ziji and couldn't help complaining that she hadn't noticed that Biji could stand effortlessly at this moment. Xiaoyao is indeed helping Sister Biji to remove the ecstasy fragrance from her body. Arao looked at Brigitte who was standing, and found that Brigitte was standing effortlessly, and that her soul and mental power were flowing again, and she knew that her guess was correct. Does Brother Xiaoyao plan to continue kissing Sister Ziji? Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Zhuain did not pay attention to Biji who was standing. Instead, they heard the words of the three-eyed Jinni and saw Long Xiaoyao walking directly towards Ziji, and they began to guess in their hearts. Why can Miss Brigitte stand up on her own? Could it be that young Master Long's kiss could remove the ecstasy fragrance from Miss Brigitte's body? Zhu Yuanzhong, Mrs. Zhu, and Zhu Yuanying looked at Biji who was standing and saw that Biji was no longer weak, and that her soul and spiritual power were flowing again. They all speculated in their hearts, and they were all shocked at the same time. Because they don't know that Long Xiaoyao relies on swallowing all things and helping Biji swallow the ecstasy in her body. They thought that Long Xiaoyao helped Biji understand the ecstasy in her body by kissing her. What should we do? At the same time, Zhu Yuanzhong, Mrs. Zhu, and Zhu Yuanying also became worried. They thought it would be okay for Long Xiaoyao to kiss Biji, Ziji, Aro and the three-eyed golden eagle to remove the ecstasy fragrance from their bodies. But what can they do themselves? They were too embarrassed to let Long Xiaoyao kiss him. Just when everyone was thinking about their own things, Long Xiaoyao had already arrived in front of Ziji. He directly grabbed Ziji's left hand with his right hand, hugged Ziji's thin waist with his left hand, and directly helped Ziji up, making Ziji's body tightly press against his body. Feeling Long Xiaoyao hugging her up and clinging to Long Xiaoyao's body, feeling Long Xiaoyao's strong body through the clothes, Ziji felt very shy and her pretty face turned red. Although Ziji was already married to Long Xiaoyao, she had never been so close to Long Xiaoyao in front of so many people. She felt very shy, but she also felt very happy. So you are jealous of beer? Then, Long Xiaoyao's right hand released Ziji's left hand, pressed against Ziji's chin, gently lifted Ziji's head, looked down at Ziji with a smile and asked, "I didn't, hey, Ziji just wanted to deny it, but before she could finish her words, she was kissed on the lips by Long Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao immediately began to devour the ecstasy in Ziji's body, which made Ziji couldn't help but issue an order. The sound of people's blood boiling. Because Ziji had never been kissed by Long Xiaoyao in front of so many people, she instinctively wanted to resist. But at this moment, the ecstasy in Ziji's body was not clear yet. She still felt weak all over her body, unable to mobilize her soul power and mental power. Her voice was unable to resist at all, so she could only let Long Xiaoyao kiss her. However, Ziji was not a fool. She quickly felt that the fragrance of ecstasy in her body was being quickly swallowed by Long Xiaoyao. She understood that Long Xiaoyao was helping her swallow the fragrance of ecstasy, and she also understood that Long Xiaoyao just now was helping Brigitte swallow the incense of ecstasy. So Ziji hugged Long Xiaoyao directly, cooperated with Long Xiaoyao, and asked Long Xiaoyao to help her clearly understand the fragrance of ecstasy in her body. Biji and Arao smiled when they saw Ziji taking the initiative to cooperate with Long Xiaoyao. The three-eyed Jin Yang was a little envious of Ziji. Is it really that comfortable? Zhu Huqing and Zhu Huayan no longer continued to secretly watch Long Xiaoyao kiss Ziji, but openly watched Long Xiaoyao kiss Ziji. When they saw Ziji taking the initiative to cooperate with Long Xiaoyao, they felt that Ziji must now be very comfortable, and I feel very excited inside. It seems that Mr. Long can really clearly understand the ecstasy fragrance in our bodies through kissing. Zhu Yuansong, Mrs. Zhu, and Zhu Yuanying saw that Ziji's soul and mental power were recovering rapidly. They were all sure that their guess was correct, and they also felt very worried. End of this chapter. Chapter 167 Star Luo Energy Gathering Array. After a while, Long Xiaoyao helped Ziji remove the ecstasy fragrance from her body. Are you still jealous now? Long Xiaoyao let go of Ziji's jade lips and asked Ziji with a smile. No, Ziji showed her little tiger teeth, smiled happily, and shook her head with a smile. Long Xiaoyao let go of Ziji's thin waist, turned to Arao again, and walked straight towards Arao. Walking in front of Arao, Long Xiaoyao hugged Arao like Biji and Ziji. But Arao was different from Biji and Ziji. She knew that Long Xiaoyao was going to help her understand the feeling of ecstasy in her body. Before Long Xiaoyao could lift her head, she tried her best to lift it up herself, looked at Long Xiaoyao nervously. Whisper. Seeing Arao's cooperation, Long Xiaoyao didn't say anything. He put his right hand against Arao's chin to make Arao less strenuous. Then he directly kissed Arao's jade lips and began to suck and devour Arao. The ecstatic fragrance in the body. Okay, although Arao was mentally prepared, she had never been kissed by Long Xiaoyao in front of so many people. She also felt very shy and couldn't help but let out a blood-boiling moan. Biji, Ziji and Arao looked at Long Xiaoyao kissing Arao, and they all smiled. Three-eyed Jinni watched Long Xiaoyao kiss Arao, and she was also a little envious of Arao. Is it really that comfortable? When Zhu Huqing and Zhu Huayan saw Arao taking the initiative to cooperate with Long Xiaoyao, their hearts started to stir even more. Like the three-eyed golden beast, they were a little envious of Arao. How to do? Zhu Yuansong, Mrs. Zhu and Zhu Yuanying felt even more nervous when they saw Long Xiaoyao kissing Arao, not knowing what to do later. After a while, Long Xiaoyao had cleared away all the ecstasy fragrance from Arao's body, and he also let go of Arao's thin waist. Beer, Zir, Rower, you guys are here to keep Xiaojin and the others safe. I'll go out and kill all the guards first, and then I'll help them detoxify." Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao said to Biji, Ziji and Arao. The reason why Long Xiaoyao helped Brigitte, Ziji and Arao detoxify was to prevent some of the imperial guards from sneaking in through the big hole in the wall and attacking Brigitte and others when he went out to kill the guards. When Long Xiaoyao was fighting the White Tiger Emperor just now, he had already destroyed the incense burning behind the throne. And all the ecstasy incense in the main hall was blown out and dissipated because of Long Xiaoyao's battle just now. Okay, Brigitte and Arao answered immediately. Xiaoyao, let me go out and help you. Ziji asked Long Xiaoyao that she wanted to fight side by side with Long Xiaoyao. No, I'm enough on my own, you don't have to worry, your mission is to work with Beer and Rower to protect Xiaojin and the others. Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Ziji. Yes, I promise to complete the task, Ziji replied confidently. Whoosh! Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao waved with Suzuka wings, turned into a stream of red and white light, and flew directly out of the hall. Three-eyed golden beasts, Zhu Huking and Zhu Zuai looked at the red and white light left by Long Xiaoyao, and looked forward to Long Xiaoyao coming back later to help them remove the ecstasy fragrance from their bodies. Zhu Yuansong, Mrs. Zhu and Zhu Yuanying looked at the red and white light left by Long Xiaoyao and felt nervous. They didn't know if Long Xiaoyao would help them remove the ecstasy fragrance from their bodies after Long Xiaoyao came back later. What kind of formation is this? It actually concentrates the soul power of all the Imperial Guards into one person. As soon as Long Xiaoyao flew out of the main hall, he saw more than, remaining Imperial Guards, standing neatly into an isosceles right triangle according to their levels, focusing everyone's soul power. Among the leaders of the Imperial Guard at the front, Zan Long Xiaoyao discovered that because of this, the leader of the Imperial Guard standing at the front was only level 85, but his soul power was comparable to that of a level 95 titled Douluo, and his aura was even more powerful than a level 95 titled Douluo. Assuming you are discerning, this is the Star Luo energy gathering formation created by the founding emperor of our Star Luo Empire, which can concentrate the soul power of the entire army into one person. My current strength has surpassed that of a level 95 titled Douluo. You cannot be my opponent, the leader of the Imperial Guard, who was standing at the front, explained to Long Xiaoyao with a smile and shouted that he felt extremely confident now. The leader of the Imperial Guard standing at the front is a member of the Dai family. He has activated the White Tiger True Body at this moment. With the blessing of the Star Luo energy gathering formation, the White Tiger True Body he displayed is more than 20 feet long, which is enough. More than twice that of the White Tiger Emperor. The founding emperor of the Star Luo Empire relied on his own strength and the creation of the Star Luo energy gathering formation to expand the Star Luo Empire into one of the two major empires in the Douluo continent. If it hadn't been for the alliance between the Zhen Wuhan Palace and the Xiandao Empire, the founding emperor of the Star Luo Empire would have annexed the Xiandao Empire altogether. The Star Energy Gathering Formation? It's pretty good. It's a pity that in the face of absolute strength, all skills are useless, Long Xiaoyao said disdainfully. Long Xiaoyao's current strength can kill a level 97 Super Douluo, and he can fight a level 98 Super Douluo. Even if he fights against a level 99 Peerless Douluo, he can escape safely. Therefore, although the leader of the Imperial Guard standing at the front relies on the Star Luo energy gathering formation, he can already surpass the level 95 Super Douluo. But in front of Long Xiaoyao, it was still not worth mentioning. You are not ashamed of your words, then I will show you that my current strength is beyond your reach. The leader of the Imperial Guard then shouted that he felt that Long Xiaoyao was just a 90-level Contra, and the reason why the White Tiger Emperor, Heiju and Mie were killed by Long Xiaoyao must have been due to carelessness. Moreover, the leader of the Imperial Guard knew that his current strength was even stronger than a level 95 Super Douluo, and he felt that he could defeat Long Xiaoyao. The 8th Soul Skill, White Tiger Roaring Sky Strike. The strength of the Imperial Guard directly mobilized his soul power and displayed his 8th Soul Skill. The real body of the White Tiger, the leader of the Imperial Guard, opened his mouth wide and began to gather his soul power in front of his mouth, forming a huge soul power ball, and the soul power ball continued to grow rapidly. The 3rd Soul Skill, the Dazzling Golden Shield. Long Xiaoyao directly mobilized his soul power, raised his hands, and used his 3rd Soul Skill with all his strength. Because Long Xiaoyao also wants Zhu Yuanzhen to become the emperor of the Xingluo Empire. This palace also belongs to the Zhu family. He doesn't want to destroy too much because of the battle with the Imperial Guards. Boom! Huge soul power burst out from Long Xiaoyao's body, and quickly condensed in front of Long Xiaoyao to form a 40-meter diameter, dazzling golden shield that exuded dazzling golden light. Suffer to death. At this moment, the leader of the Imperial Guard had already accumulated his strength. He aimed directly at Long Xiaoyao and shot a blazing white beam. Boom boom boom, bang bang bang, the white beam directly bombarded the golden shield, causing huge explosions one after another, and the earth trembled. Long Xiaoyao's dazzling gold shield has been fully formed. Although it does not have the true form of Miaodu, as well as the blessings of other soul skills, soul bones, etc., it can still withstand the attack of a level 97 Super Douluo. The leader of the Imperial Guards, the White Tiger's roaring sky strike couldn't break Long Xiaoyao's dazzling gold shield at all. Emperor White Tiger's Imperial Guard uses the Star Energy Gathering formation, which is enough to make the leader of the Imperial Guard surpass a level 95 title Douluo. Can Mr. Long do it alone? In the main hall, listening to the constant explosions outside the hall, Zhu Yuanzhen expressed his worries. Zhu Zhuqing, Zhu Huayan, Mrs. Zhu and Zhu Yuanying also became worried. End of this chapter. Chapter 168 Devouring all the Imperial Guards. Brother Xiaoyao, he will be fine, the three-eyed golden man said firmly. Okay, BG, ZG and Aro also nodded firmly. They all believed in Long Xiaoyao. But they are also a little worried, because they love Long Xiaoyao deeply, so even though they know that Long Xiaoyao can win, they still can't help but feel worried. Boom boom boom, boom. After a while, the leader of the Imperial Guard finished shooting out his concentrated soul power, and a huge explosion occurred on Long Xiaoyao's condensed golden shield, creating a large wave of smoke and dust that obscured the sight of the Imperial Guards. Escape. Long Xiaoyao directly summoned his chaotic left leg soul bone, and took advantage of the cover of smoke and dust to perform escape. Disappeared. Although the side of the leader of the Imperial Guard was blocked, he had been locking Long Xiaoyao with his mental power. He was shocked to find that Long Xiaoyao's aura suddenly disappeared. Because he knew that Long Xiaoyao was not killed by his White Tiger roaring sky strike, he couldn't figure out why Long Xiaoyao suddenly disappeared. After a while, Long Xiaoyao escaped from the chaotic space and came to the sky behind the guards. The sixth soul skill, Infinite Devouring. At this time, Long Xiaoyao had already accumulated his soul power. He stretched out his hands directly to the Imperial Guards in front of him and used his sixth soul skill, Infinite Devour, intending to devour all the Imperial Guards. Absorbed it to replenish the soul power just consumed. Buzz buzz. Immediately afterwards, a black vortex with a diameter of 5 meters quickly appeared in front of Long Xiaoyao's hands. The black vortex produced an extremely powerful suction force and was absorbing the guards who were standing neatly. Oops! When he sensed Long Xiaoyao's aura again, the leader of the Imperial Guard discovered that Long Xiaoyao was already behind the Imperial Guards. He suddenly felt something was very bad and immediately turned around and turned behind him. Because although the Starluo energy gathering formation can concentrate all the soul power of the guards, it will also cause everyone except the leader of the guards to have almost no combat capabilities and cannot withstand attacks, leaving them at the mercy of others of Lamb. That's why the leader of the Imperial Guard kept staring at Long Xiaoyao, but he never expected that Long Xiaoyao could rush behind the Imperial Guards almost instantly, and he didn't even know how Long Xiaoyao arrived. Behind the Praetorian Guards. What? The leader of the Imperial Guard just turned around and saw that the Imperial Guards were screaming continuously while being sucked into the black vortex, being swallowed up and turned into nothingness. 200 to 300 Imperial Guardsmen had been sucked into the black vortex and swallowed up. The other 200 to 300 Imperial Guards have been sucked into the air and are being quickly drawn away into the black vortex. Other guards who were far away from Long Xiaoyao and closer to the leader of the guards were also attracted by the extremely powerful attraction. They were constantly rising into the sky and being sucked into the black vortex. The leader of the Imperial Guard also wanted to launch an attack on Long Xiaoyao, but at this moment, because the Imperial Guards were absorbed and devoured by Long Xiaoyao, the Xingluo energy gathering array had been destroyed. And the soul power of the Imperial Guards on the leader of the Imperial Guard was all of them have disappeared, and his White Tiger true body has become only 10 meters in size. Moreover, the leader of the Imperial Guard was also attracted by the extremely powerful suction. He tried his best to resist it before he could stabilize his body. He no longer had the ability to escape from the attraction, let alone launch an attack on Long Xiaoyao. Drink. After the star energy gathering formation was forced to be lifted, the Imperial Guards who had not been sucked into the black vortex tried their best to break away from this extremely powerful attraction and escape tribulation. But except for the 8 leaders who tried their best and could barely keep their bodies steady, the other guards were unable to resist and were constantly being drawn into the black vortex. Upon seeing this, Long Xiaoyao pushed the black vortex and kept moving towards the direction of the leader of the Imperial Guard. What? As the black vortex approached, the attraction became stronger and stronger. The 8 leaders of the Imperial Guard were unable to stabilize their bodies, and began to be attracted to the black vortex together with other Imperial Guards. In the end, in less than a minute, all the Imperial Guards were absorbed and devoured by Long Xiaoyao, turning into Long Xiaoyao's soul and mental power. Long Xiaoyao didn't linger much and flew directly back to the main hall. Happy, Brother Xiaoyao, Master Dragon, Bibi and others were relieved when they saw Long Xiaoyao flying back safely. Xiaoyao wouldn't want to help Xiaojin and the others remove the scent of ecstasy from their bodies through kissing, right? BG, ZG and Aro looked at Long Xiaoyao, wondering whether Long Xiaoyao would also help Sanayan Jinai, Zhu's Huking and others remove the ecstasy fragrance from their bodies through kisses. I wonder what it feels like to kiss Brother Xiaoyao. Three-eyed golden eyes, Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan thought that Long Xiaoyao would help them remove the scent of ecstasy from their bodies through kissing. They all looked forward to it, but they were also a little shy, and the pretty faces turned slightly red. How to do? Zhu Yuansong, Mrs. Zhu and Zhu Yuanying also became nervous. They were all embarrassed to let Long Xiaoyao help them remove the scent of sadness from their bodies through kisses, but they could not think of any other way to remove the sadness from their bodies. Ecstasy. At this moment, Long Xiaoyao came to Bibi and others. Beer, give me Xiaojin. Long Xiaoyao first came to Bibi and said to Bibi. It is good. Bibi didn't ask any questions and handed the three-eyed golden tiger directly to Long Xiaoyao, who then directly took the three-eyed golden tiger into his arms. Three-eyed Jinni thought that Long Xiaoyao wanted to kiss her first to help her remove the ecstasy fragrance from her body. She closed her eyes directly, raised her head, and waited quietly for Long Xiaoyao to kiss her. Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan looked at Long Xiaoyao holding the three-eyed Jinni, and they very much hoped that Long Xiaoyao would quickly help the three-eyed Jinni to remove the fragrance of gloomy ecstasy from their bodies, and then kiss them to help them remove the fragrance of gloomy ecstasy from their bodies. Zhu Yuansong, Mrs. Zhu and Zhu Yuanying looked at Long Xiaoyao holding the three-eyed Jinni. They were all very nervous and a little at a loss. They were really embarrassed to let Long Xiaoyao kiss them to help them remove the ecstasy fragrance from their bodies. Xiaojin, why did you close your eyes? Long Xiaoyao asked Sanayan Jinai with a smile. Because Brother Xiaoyao wanted to help me remove the ecstasy fragrance from my body by kissing me. I was a little embarrassed, so I closed my eyes. The three-eyed Jin Yang still had his eyes closed, with a pretty red face, and said to Long Xiaoyao. Who told you that I would kiss you to help you remove the scent of ecstasy from your body? Long Xiaoyao then asked Sanayan Jinai. Didn't you just kiss Sister Bibi, Sister Ziji and Sister Arao to help them remove the scent of ecstasy from their bodies, so don't you also want to kiss me to help me remove the scent of ecstasy from my body? The three-eyed Jinni opened her eyes and asked Long Xiaoyao full of expectation and hope, but she didn't know why she always had a bad feeling. Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan also looked at Long Xiaoyao expectantly. They didn't know why, but they had a bad feeling. End of this chapter. Chapter 169 Cooperation between Xiaoyaoman and Zhu family. Of course not, what are you thinking? Long Xiaoyao asked Sanayan Jinai with a smile. Of course, Long Xiaoyao saw that the three-eyed Jinni was very much looking forward to him kissing her. He also saw that Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan were also very much looking forward to him kissing them, just like the three-eyed Jinni. But the three-eyed golden eagles, Zhu's Huking and Zhu's Huayan are still young. Moreover, Long Xiaoyao could help them remove the ecstasy fragrance from their bodies without kissing them. So of course Long Xiaoyao would not help them remove the ecstasy fragrance from their bodies by kissing them. What? Not only the three-eyed golden beast, but also everyone present was shocked. They all thought that Long Xiaoyao could help them remove the ecstasy fragrance from their bodies through kissing. Then didn't you just kiss Sister Bibi, Sister Ziji and Sister Arao to help them remove the ecstasy fragrance from their bodies? Didn't you help them remove the ecstasy fragrance from their bodies by kissing them? The three-eyed Jin Yang widened his eyes and asked Long Xiaoyao curiously. Everyone else also opened their eyes wide and looked at Long Xiaoyao curiously. I can help you remove the scent of ecstasy from your body without kissing, but it will take a little longer. The situation was urgent just now, and Beer, Zier and Rauer are all adults now, and they are all my women. I can speed up the removal of the ecstasy from their bodies by kissing them. That's why I just kissed Beer, Zier and Rauer to help them remove the scent of ecstasy from their bodies, so that they can protect you when I go to deal with the Imperial Guards. There are no enemies now. You, Zhuking, and Zhu Ayan are still young, and General Zhu and the others are not my women. Of course, I don't need to kiss you to help you remove the scent of ecstasy from your body, Long Xiaoyao explained with a smile. Oh, after listening to Long Xiaoyao's explanation, Sana and Jinai reluctantly said oh and felt very disappointed. She thought Long Xiaoyao was going to kiss her too, but she didn't expect that she had misunderstood. Zhu Zhuking and Zhu Zhuayan were also a little disappointed. The two sisters also looked forward to Long Xiaoyao kissing them. However, the two sisters, like three-eyed Jinai, heard what Long Xiaoyao said, and there were so many people watching now, so they were not embarrassed to let Long Xiaoyao Tong kiss them to help them clear away the sadness in their bodies. Ecstasy. Oh, Zhu Yuansong, Mrs. Zhu and Zhu Yuanying all breathed a sigh of relief and smiled after hearing Long Xiaoyao's words. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Biji, Ziji and Aro all showed happy smiles and felt very happy. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao put the three-eyed golden beast into Zhu Zhuking's arms, hitting Zhu Zhuking, Zhu Zhuayan, Zhu Yuansong, Mrs. Zhu and Zhu Yuanying, wrapped all of them with soul power, and began to help. They purged their bodies of the dark ecstasy. It took about 10 minutes, and Long Xiaoyao successfully helped them remove the gloomy ecstasy fragrance from their bodies. Then Long Xiaoyao spent a few more minutes explaining to Zhu Yuansong and others that the reason why he appeared on the Wuhun Hall's reward order was because he rescued Bibi Dong from Jin's Unji and seriously injured Jin's Unji. Looking for illness. Long Xiaoyao also explained to Zhu Yuansong and others the child snatching plan implemented by Wuhun Palace, letting Zhu Yuansong and others know about Wuhun Palace's ambitions. General Zhu, now that the White Tiger Emperor is dead, and I have wiped out all the imperial guards of the Dai family, the Dai family can be said to have been destroyed. Now the Star Luo Empire is leaderless. If you don't ascend the throne of the Star Luo Empire, the Star Luo Empire will inevitably fall into chaos. It is very likely that other forces will also take advantage of the situation, especially the Spirit Hall. When the time comes, the Star Luo Empire will inevitably face war, and the people will inevitably live in dire straits. So you should ascend the throne of the Star Luo Empire now, unify the Star Luo Empire, and save the people from the suffering of war. Long Xiaoyao advised Zhu Yuan to show his way. Yes. General Zhu, Biji, Ziji, Aro and the three-eyed Jinni also followed to persuade Zhu Yuan to show his way. Yes, father, you can ascend the throne of the Star Luo Empire. Yes, brother Zan. Yes, big brother, Zhu Zhuking, Zhu Zhuayan, Madame Zhu and Zhu Yuanying also persuaded Zhu Yuan to show his way. They also did not want the Star Luo Empire to fall into war. But the Star Luo Empire is not only my Zhu family, but also other big families. Although our Zhu family can be said to be the most powerful family now, our Zhu family is not much stronger than other families. Moreover, I am only a Soul Douluo and have not reached the level of title Douluo. I cannot let others in the Star Luo Empire, the whole family, obeys me. And Mr. Long just killed the White Tiger Emperor, his bodyguards, and the White Tiger Emperor's Imperial Guards just for the sake of all of us. If I announce now that I will become the Emperor of the Star Luo Empire, other families will probably not agree, and a war will probably break out. Zhu Yuanzhen expressed his worries. He also wanted to unify the Star Luo Empire and save the people of the Star Luo Empire from the suffering of war. But Zhu Yuanzhen also knew that it would be difficult for the Zhu family to unify the Star Luo Empire just by relying on the Zhu family, and without a title Douluo who could control everyone. General Zhu, you don't have to worry about this. A Xiaoyao sect will help you and make all the big families in the Star Luo Empire obey you, Long Xiaoyao said confidently. Xiaoyaoman, everyone looked at Long Xiaoyao in confusion, because they didn't know that Long Xiaoyao was from Xiaoyao sect. Xiaoyao sect is a sect that I plan to establish soon, although there are only a dozen or so people in Xiaoyao sect such as me and Beer, and we don't even have a decent sect address. Xiaoyao sect will definitely become the strongest sect in Douluo continent in the future, Long Xiaoyao said confidently that he had already made plans to establish Xiaoyao sect. I see. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, everyone nodded and realized that Xiaoyao sect was originally a sect that Long Xiaoyao wanted to establish. They all believed that the Xiaoyao sect that Long Xiaoyao wanted to establish would become the strongest sect in Douluo continent in the future. A Xiaoyao sect will first help General Zhu become the emperor of the Star Luo Empire. In the future, when we want to build our sect, we will also have to rely on General Zhu's help. Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Zhu Yuansun again. It is good, then young Master Long will help me become the emperor of the Star Luo Empire first. If young Master Long is of any use to me in the future, please just say so and I will definitely help you with all my strength. Zhu Yuanzhen turned his back on Long Xiaoyao. He knew that although Xiaoyao sect had few people now, Long Xiaoyao's combat power alone, coupled with the Zhu family's strength, could already make all the families in the Star Luo Empire submit to the Zhu family. What's more, Long Xiaoyao and ZG, a super Douluo level expert. And according to Zhu Yuanzhen's guess, although Biji has not revealed her strength, she is most likely a super Douluo level expert. It is good, Long Xiaoyao smiled. Everyone else also smiled. Later, Zhu Yuanying chose to bury the bodies of Davis and Daimyubei first. Long Xiaoyao took Biji, ZG, Aroa and the three-eyed golden eagle, as well as Zhu Zhuking, Zhu Huayan, Zhu Yuansun, and Mrs. Zhu, while returning to the Zhu family to discuss how to help Zhu Yuanzhen become the emperor of the Star Luo Empire. After discussion, Long Xiaoyao found that what Xiaoyaoman wanted to do for Zhu Yuanzhen was very simple. It was Zhu Yuanzhen who summoned all the senior officials of the Star Luo Empire's big families to explain everything that happened today and announced that he would become the emperor of the Star Luo Empire. Xiaoyao sect only needs to use its absolute strength to intimidate all the families and make them obey the Zhu family. End of this chapter. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 170 Yaosiki was forced to marry. Master Dragon, Long Xiaoyao and his party had just walked out of the palace. A little fat man stared at Long Xiaoyao, as if he had seen a savior, and ran towards Long Xiaoyao. Yao Xiling, Long Xiaoyao looked for his voice and found that the fat man running towards him was none other than Yao Xiling, whom he had met not long ago. He was a little surprised. Because Long Xiaoyao asked Yao Lao to bring the message a few days ago, he asked Yaosiki to come over, not Yao Xiling. Long Xiaoyao knew that Yaosiki was a smart man and would definitely come here in person instead of letting Yao Xiling come over. And when Long Xiaoyao saw Yao Xiling looking very anxious, he felt that something might have happened. Master Long, I beg you to help my sister. Yao Xiling came to the front, and as he spoke, he immediately planned to kneel down to Long Xiaoyao. However, Long Xiaoyao didn't like people kneeling to him, so before Yao Xiling knelt down, he grabbed Yao Xiling's hand and stopped Yao Xiling from kneeling to him. Tell me quickly, what's wrong with Miss Yaosiki? Long Xiaoyao grabbed Yao Xiling's hand and asked worriedly. Yaosiki is the person that Long Xiaoyao likes. Although Yaosiki is not mentioned in the original work, nor in the anime, her beauty is at the level of a goddess, and she is very smart. Long Xiaoyao has long planned to marry Yaosiki. A warm home now. The reason why Long Xiaoyao called Yaosiki here was because he planned to cooperate deeply with Yaosiki, earn some soul coins, and prepare to build Xiaoyao Gate. Secondly, he planned to capture Yaosiki's heart, have in-depth communication with Yaosiki, and give Yaosiki a warm home. Now that Long Xiaoyao heard Yao Xiling begging him to help Yaosiki, he was very worried about what happened to Yaosiki now. Sister, she is forced to get married. In 3 days, she will get married. Please help sister, Yao Xiling said to Long Xiaoyao concisely. Miss Yaosiki was forced into marriage. Long Xiaoyao, BG and others were shocked when they heard Long Xiaoyao's words. They did not expect that Yaosiki would be forced to get married. What's going on? Please explain in detail, Long Xiaoyao asked Yao Xiling. BG and others also looked at Yao Xiling. 3 days ago, the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family came to our Yao family to propose marriage to my sister, Yuluo Mian, the second head of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family. My sister and father disagree, but the other elders in the family say that my sister has reached the age to get married. Marrying Luo Mian is a good choice, and it can also make our Yao family and Landian the Tyrannosaurus family establishes friendly relations, but in fact, they know that my sister wants to become the head of the Yao family. They also find that my sister's business is getting better and better, and her connections are getting wider and wider. They are worried that my sister will really become the head of our Yao family in the future. That's why they forced my sister and father to marry Luo Mian on the grounds that they couldn't defend the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family. In desperation, my father had no choice but to agree to marry my sister to Luo Mian. In order to prevent my sister from escaping, they also put her under house arrest and prohibited her from stepping out of the medicine family. I know that my sister doesn't want to be a tool used by the Yao family for marriage. She wants to become the head of the Yao family and control her own destiny, so I thought of you, Mr. Long, and I suggested that my sister ask for your help, or explain to our top Yao family officials that they know a super Douluo level expert, and can use your help, so as to prevent them from forcing my sister to marry Luo Mian. But my sister refused to say anything and even warned me not to mention it to the top management of our pharmacy, Yao Xiling explained quickly. High-level pharmacist, Jade Luo Mian, after listening to Yao Xiling's explanation, Long Xiaoyao felt very angry with both the top Yao family officials and Luo Mian, especially Luo Mian, because he knew that Luo Mian was the biological father who abandoned Liu Erlong. At the same time, Long Xiaoyao was also a little moved, because he knew that the reason why Yao Siki did not mention him was to prevent him from being exposed. The top brass of the Yao family are so abominable. They actually forced Miss Yao Siki to marry Luo Mian. Biji, Ziji, Aro and the three-eyed Jin Yang were all angry and aggrieved at the top management of the Yao family. Zhu Huqing, Zhu Huiyan, Zhu Yuansun, and Mrs. Zhu were also angry with the Yao family's senior officials, but at the same time they also felt very understanding. Because the Zhu family, like the Yao family, Zhu Huqing and Zhu Huiyan, like Yao Siki, had no choice but to become tools for marriage. I originally wanted to find Mr. Long and ask you to help my sister, but I don't know where to find you. Fortunately, 2 days ago, Yao Lao came back and told my sister that you wanted her to come to the Star Luo Empire to find you, but my sister couldn't come out to find you, so she asked me to come to you and asked me to ask you why you were looking for him. She also told me not to ask you for help, but for the sake of my sister, I have no choice but not to listen to her words. Master Long, I beg you, please help my sister, no matter what you want, as long as I have it, I can give it to you, Yao Xiling continued, and at the same time planned to kneel down to Long Xiaoyao again, but was held back by Long Xiaoyao. It seems that Yao Siki wants me to help her. After listening to Yao Xiling's words, Long Xiaoyao guessed that Yao Siki wanted him to help her. Long Xiaoyao knew that Yao Siki was very smart, and knew that Yao Siki would definitely think that when Yao Xiling saw him, she would ask him to help her like she did now. Long Xiaoyao knew that although Yao Siki said that Yao Xiling would not ask him, in his heart he still wanted his help, otherwise Yao Xiling would not have come to him. Xiaoyao, let's help Miss Yao Siki, she is so pitiful. Yes, brother Xiaoyao, yes, Mr. Long, Biji, Ziji, Aro, Three-Eyed Jinni, Zhu Huqing, Zhu Huiyan, Zhu Yuansun, and Mrs. Zhu all begged Long Xiaoyao. They all felt that Yao Siki was very pitiful. Especially Zhu Huqing and Zhu Huiyan, they were very sympathetic and could feel how helpless Yao Siki was. Okay, Long Xiaoyao nodded. He planned to give Yao Siki a warm home, and now that he knew that Yao Siki wanted his help, it was impossible for him not to help Yao Siki. Moreover, Long Xiaoyao and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family were already enemies, not to mention that Luo Mian had abandoned Liu Erlong's biological father. How could he let Yao Siki marry Luo Mian? Great, seeing Long Xiaoyao nodding, Yao Xiling felt very happy, showed a naive smile, and finally felt relieved. When Biji and others saw Long Xiaoyao nodding, they all smiled. Beer, Zir, Rauer, Xiaojin, you continue to follow General Zhu and the others back to the Zhu family, and help General Zhu shock the major families in the Star Luo Empire. I will rush to help Miss Yao Siki now. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao said to Biji, Ziji, Aro and the three-eyed Jin Yang that although he wanted to help Yao Siki, he could not help Zhu Yuansun, so he let them all stay. Long Xiaoyao believed that with Biji and Ziji here, They could already intimidate the big families of the Star Luo Empire. Brother Xiaoyao, is it enough for you alone? The three-eyed golden man asked Long Xiaoyao worriedly, and everyone looked at Long Xiaoyao worriedly. Among them, Yao Xiling is the most worried, because he still doesn't know that Long Xiaoyao is the Long Xiaoyao on the Wuhun Palace bounty order. He doesn't know how high Long Xiaoyao's level is and how strong he is, but he knows that BG and ZG is a super Douluo level expert. He wants Long Xiaoyao to take BG and ZG to help Yaosiki. Although it's enough for me alone, I will take the rest of us from Xiaoyao sect with me, so don't worry, Long Xiaoyao said confidently. The best way to help Yaosiki is to steal the bride. Since we are going to snatch a bride, of course we have to find a few more people. End of this chapter. Chapter 171. The seriously injured Boseishi. Other people from Xiaoyao, hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, BG, ZG, Aro and the three-eyed Jin Yang all thought they were Ah Yin and others who were in the ice and fire eyes. Zhu Huqing, Zhu Huayan, Zhu Yuansong, Mrs. Zhu and Yao Xiling were all very puzzled, and the most puzzled was Yao Xiling, who didn't even know what Xiaoyao sect was. Yao Xiling, do you know when the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family will pick up your sister in 3 days? Long Xiaoyao asked Yao Xiling that he wanted to confirm the time first. At noon in 3 days, they will come to pick up my sister on time, Yao Xiling replied. It is good, Long Xiaoyao nodded. Beer, Zir, Rower, Xiaojin, I'll leave this to you. I'll take the first step, plop. As soon as he finished speaking, Long Xiaoyao summoned the Suzuki wings and set off in the direction of the person he was looking for. Don't worry, Xiaoyao, okay, brother Xiaoyao, BG, ZG, Aro and the three-eyed golden tiger answered Long Xiaoyao confidently. Master Long, take me with you. Seeing that Long Xiaoyao had flown away, Yao Xiling shouted at Long Xiaoyao. I'm going to find someone from our Xiaoyao sect elsewhere first. You can go back to Shine City first. I will definitely arrive at Shine City before noon in 3 days, but Long Xiaoyao had no intention of stopping at all. After saying these words, he disappeared directly from everyone's eyes. Why is the direction of Xiaoyao's flight not the Sunset Forest? That direction seems to be the Star Dao Forest. Could it be that Xiaoyao wants to find Dishan and the others? BG, ZG, Aro and the three-eyed Jinni looked at the direction of Long Xiaoyao's flight, guessing in their hearts that Long Xiaoyao seemed not to be looking for Ah Yin and the others, but to find Dishan and the others. That's right, Long Xiaoyao was planning to go find Dishan and the others. After all, Long Xiaoyao is going to steal a bride, so he must bring a man with him. Soon, about half an hour passed, and Long Xiaoyao flew over an unknown forest. Boom, just as Long Xiaoyao continued to fly towards the star forest, a huge explosion came from his right, making the sky and the earth tremble. Such a powerful explosion. And there's Boseixi's aura. Is she fighting Peerless Douluo again? Is it Tang Chen? Long Xiaoyao looked for the sound and sensed Boseixi's aura. He found that the intensity of this explosion was only stronger than the explosion caused by the last battle between Boseixi and Jin Daoliu in the 9th soul skill, so he had guessed that Boseixi is probably fighting Peerless Douluo. Jin Daoliu was already seriously injured, so Long Xiaoyao guessed that Boseixi was probably fighting Tang Chen. Long Xiaoyao hoped that his guess was correct, because if it was really Tang Chen, it would mean that Boseixi did not fall in love with Tang Chen like in the original work, and that he and Tang Chen were enemies. That's Boseixi. At this moment, Long Xiaoyao noticed that a sky-blue stream of light came from the source of the explosion and exploded towards a mountain not far away. He took a closer look and was shocked to find that it was Boseixi. Because although the speed of the stream of light was very fast, Long Xiaoyao still clearly saw that the stream of light was Boseixi. Moreover, he also found that Boseixi was seriously injured and had fainted. Plop, whoosh. Long Xiaoyao immediately mobilized his soul power, waved his Suzuki wings, and flew quickly towards the mountain where Boseixi crashed, preparing to save Boseixi. Because Boseixi had already fainted, if Long Xiaoyao didn't save Boseixi and let Boseixi hit the mountain, Boseixi would definitely be injured more seriously. Long Xiaoyao planned to give Boseixi a warm home. How could he just watch Boseixi getting injured one after another? So he flew over without thinking. Boseixi's shooting speed was very fast, but Long Xiaoyao's flying speed was even faster. Long Xiaoyao successfully flew to the direction from which Boseixi shot before Boseixi hit the mountain. However, Bo Sixi was already in front of Long Xiaoyao and crashed into Long Xiaoyao at a very fast speed. Long Xiaoyao did not choose to dodge, he directly opened his arms. Boom! Bo Sixi directly hit Long Xiaoyao's arms hard, and took Long Xiaoyao with him towards the mountain. Stop for me! Long Xiaoyao hugged Bo Sixi tightly and waved the Suzuki wings with all his strength, trying to stop. But the force on Bo Sixi's body was too great, far exceeding the maximum force that Long Xiaoyao could bear now. Even if Long Xiaoyao used all his strength, he could not stop holding Bo Sixi. Moreover, the place where Long Xiaoyao hugged Bo Sixi was already very close to the mountain. Long Xiaoyao could no longer stop holding Bo Sixi before hitting the mountain. So Long Xiaoyao hugged Bo Sixi tightly together with his hands to protect Bo Sixi. Boom! Click click click! In the end, Long Xiaoyao hugged Bo Sixi and hit the mountain heavily, creating a large crater with a depth of more than 10 meters and a diameter of 50 meters directly on the mountainside. The surrounding big trees were washed away broken. Fortunately, Bo Sixi was protected by Long Xiaoyao and was not injured. After Long Xiaoyao reached level, his physical strength became even stronger, but it was no problem at all. Boom! It turns out that before Bo Sixi's old injury from Jin Daoli recovered, he suffered a new, more serious injury. So he fainted. Long Xiaoyao held Bo Sixi in his arms with a princess hug, jumped out of the pit and landed on the ground. Using the eye of insight, he discovered that Bo Sixi's old injury had not healed, and he had suffered a new, more serious injury, so he was beaten until he fainted. But why didn't Bo Sixi heal the injury he received from Jin Daoliu? Long Xiaoyao gave Bo Sixi the 10,000 years Snow Ganoderma Lucidum last time. As long as Bo Sixi absorbs all of it, Bo Sixi will be able to heal the injuries he received from Jin Daoliu. He couldn't figure out why Bo Sixi didn't heal the injuries he suffered during the battle with Jin Daoliu. Injured. Before he could figure out why Bo Sixi healed the injury from being beaten by Jin Daoliu, Long Xiaoyao suddenly sensed that a peerless Douluo was quickly approaching here. He immediately carried Bo Sixi and flew behind a big tree stump. Illusory, Then Long Xiaoyao immediately summoned his Zhuangwu Trunk Soul Bone, used the illusory soul skill, and hid all his aura together with Bo Sixi, and became connected with a big tree stump, making them completely invisible. Even if a peerless Douluo came here, he would not be able to find Long Xiaoyao and Bo Sixi. Whoosh! Not long after Long Xiaoyao finished casting the illusion, a man wearing a bloody robe, his whole body wrapped in a huge scarlet cloak with a stand-up collar, and a pale middle-aged man came to the sky above the big pit. The man's hair and eyes are blood red, his pale skin has many mysterious blood lines, and there is a sword-shaped magic pattern on his forehead. A pair of huge blood-red wings spread out from behind, looking very scary. From a distance, it looks like a shadow of blood. It's really Tang Chen. Long Xiaoyao hid behind the big tree stump and secretly checked, and found that the person coming was Tang Chen. He was shocked because he found that Tang Chen was much stronger than Jin Daoliu. End of this chapter. Chapter 172 Healing Bo Sixi's Injury. You actually still have the energy to escape. Tang Chen stopped in the air above the big pit, looked at the big pit halfway up the mountain, and sensed the surroundings again, feeling a little surprised. Because according to his observations, Bo Sixi should have reached his limit at this time and no longer has the strength to escape. But now not only did he not see Bo Sixi in the big pit, he didn't even feel Bo Sixi's breath nearby. He thought Bo Sixi had escaped. But you can't escape my grasp today. Tang Chen showed a wolf-like smile, which looked very scary. Whoosh! Then Tang Chen turned into a stream of red light and continued flying directly in the direction he had just come from. He felt that Bo Sixi must have escaped in this direction. It seems that Tang Chen, like Jin Daoliu, wants to defeat Bo Sixi while he is on land, and then take Bo Sixi as his own. After hearing Tang Chen's words, Long Xiaoyao looked at the direction Tang Chen was flying and guessed that Tang Chen also wanted to defeat Bo Sixi and then take Bo Sixi as his own. Long Xiaoyao looked at the seriously injured and unconscious Bo Sixi in his arms, and felt that Bo Sixi was very pitiful. First, he was injured by Jin Daoliu, and now he was seriously injured by Tang Chen and passed out. Fortunately, I bumped into you today, otherwise you would have been miserable today, Long Xiaoyao said thankfully for Bo Sixi. At the same time, he felt very lucky himself. If he hadn't met Bo Sixi would have become Tang Chen's plaything. Let's find a place to heal your injuries first. Long Xiaoyao hugged Bo Sexy directly, then concealed his aura and carefully and quickly ran through the forest, looking for a place to help Bo Sexy heal his injuries. Because Long Xiaoyao knew that Tang Chen felt that Bo Sexy was seriously injured, he would definitely look for Bo Sexy nearby. If Long Xiaoyao was flying at full speed with Bo Sexy in his arms now, Tang Chen would definitely sense it. Although Long Xiaoyao was confident that he could get rid of Tang Chen, it would still take a certain amount of time. But Bo Sexy's situation is very critical now. Long Xiaoyao needs to help Bo Sexy treat his injuries immediately, otherwise Bo Sexy is likely to be in trouble, so he doesn't have time to get rid of Tang Chen now. After a while, Long Xiaoyao found a secret underground cave. Long Xiaoyao did not destroy the entrance of the cave, and jumped in with Bo Sexy in his arms. Then he cast illusion at the entrance of the cave, completely hiding the underground cave. Arriving at the underground cave, Long Xiaoyao didn't delay too much and carefully laid Bo Sexy flat on the ground. At this moment, Bo Sexy's clothes were in tatters due to the battle with Tang Chen. Except for the most private parts above and below the abdomen, which were tightly covered by clothes, most of the rest of his jade body was exposed. Bo Sexy's fair skin was clearly visible everywhere, stained with red blood, and there were wounds in many places. Even the purple stockings were in tatters, exposing Bo Sexy's beautiful legs that could be broken, and they were also stained with red blood stains in large and small wounds. Coupled with Bo Sexy's pale face and painful expression, Bo Sexy looks very pitiful, and at the same time very imaginative. Tang Chen is so harsh. He doesn't know how to show mercy at all. When I can defeat him, I will definitely make him more injured than Bo Sexy. Long Xiaoyao looked at Bo Sexy and felt very sorry for him. He was determined to make Tang Chen pay the price after he could defeat Tang Chen. But the first priority was to help Bo Sexy heal his injuries. Excuse me, Long Xiaoyao directly placed his hands gently on Bo Sexy's abdomen. Buzz! Then Long Xiaoyao injected red blood into Bo Sexy's body through Bo Sexy's abdomen. His soul power with Suzaku's self-healing ability began to help Bo Sexy heal his injuries. Although Long Xiaoyao guessed that Bo Sexy was looking for him, as long as he didn't activate the Maodu bloodline. Even if he used the feathered calf martial spirit in front of Bo Sexy still couldn't discover that Long Xiaoyao was what Poseidon wanted Bo Sexy to look for, the divine beast with a bloodline even more powerful than the dragon god. Therefore, Long Xiaoyao was not afraid that Bo Sexy would find out that he was a mythical beast. After Long Xiaoyao's soul power spread all over Bo Sexy's body, the wounds of various sizes on Bo Sexy's body began to gradually recover, and the injured organs inside Bo Sexy's body also began to gradually recover. Bo Sexy's painful expression began to ease due to his physical improvement. About an hour later, all the wounds on Bo Sexy's body had completely healed without leaving any scars. The injured organs in Bo Sexy's body have almost recovered, but there are still some gaps. Long Xiaoyao is doing his best to help Bo Sexy heal all his injuries and prevent Bo Sexy from leaving old injuries. Long Xiaoyao? Bo Sexy squinted his eyes slightly and saw Long Xiaoyao's handsome face in a daze, and was extremely shocked. When Long Xiaoyao just left Xingluo City, he had already dispelled the illusion and restored his original appearance. Because the strongest Liu in Wuhun Palace had been seriously injured, and was injured by the destruction god-killing spear, he knew that Liu would not be able to fully recover within a few years, and he should not come looking for him. He is right. Even if Liu comes, Long Xiaoyao is not afraid because he is not alone now. And if Wuhun Palace sends other people to look for him, he will be even more unafraid. Moreover, Long Xiaoyao plans to establish Xiaoyao sect with his true appearance, so there is no need for him to continue pretending now. You're awake. Long Xiaoyao was a little surprised to find that Bo Sexy had opened his eyes. Because Bo Sexy was very seriously injured just now, Long Xiaoyao felt that Bo Sexy would not wake up until he was cured at least. However, Long Xiaoyao did not look at Bo Sexy. Instead, he focused all his attention on the injuries in Bo Sexy's body and was trying his best to help Bo Sexy heal his injuries. Why are you? Bo Sexy sat up with all her strength and wanted to ask Long Xiaoyao why he was in front of her. Although all the injuries on Bo Sexy's body have recovered, and the injuries in his body have almost completely recovered, Bo Sexy has just recovered, so he cannot move freely, and he still feels pain all over his body. As a result, before Bo Sexy could sit up completely and before he finished speaking, He couldn't help but let out a blood-boiling cry. Bo Seixi had never screamed like this, let alone in front of a man. Moreover, this man once saved her life and generously gave her 10,000 years Snoganoderma lucidum, hoping to make her his own woman, Long Xiaoyao. Bo Seixi also had a certain fondness for Long Xiaoyao, so her pretty face immediately turned red and she felt very shy. What are you doing? Although she hadn't completely stood up, Bo Seixi saw Long Xiaoyao's hands pressing directly on her abdomen, and she asked Long Xiaoyao nervously. Because Bo Seixi had just woken up and had just made a blood-curdling sound, she did not realize that Long Xiaoyao was helping her heal her injuries. At the same time, she instinctively wanted to get up and stay away from Long Xiaoyao. Although Bo Seixi had a crush on Long Xiaoyao, she had never been touched by a man, let alone such a private part as her abdomen. Moreover, Long Xiaoyao still directly touched her abdomen, which made her feel even more shy and her pretty face turned redder. At the same time, Bo Seixi was also a little angry because she remembered that she had been seriously injured before she was unconscious. She felt that Long Xiaoyao was probably taking advantage of her to eat her tofu and do some indescribable things to her things. But what Bo Seixi couldn't figure out was that she was also a little happy about it in her heart. End of this chapter. Chapter 173, Generous Rewards, Bo Seixi's questions. Do not move, I'm helping you heal your wounds. You're just a little bit close now. If you move, all your efforts will be wasted. Realizing that Bo Seixi was resisting, Long Xiaoyao pressed Bo Seixi's abdomen hard while explaining and reminding Bo Seixi. Bo Seixi's soul power and mental power are basically exhausted now. Although Bo Seixi's injuries all over his body have fully recovered, the injuries inside his body are almost healed. But she was still weak and in pain, unable to break away from Long Xiaoyao's hand. Oh, hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Seixi noticed that Long Xiaoyao was indeed helping her heal her wounds, so she stopped resisting Long Xiaoyao. She said softly, "Oh," and then she lay back obediently, letting Long Xiaoyao. Xiaoyao's hand touched her abdomen and asked Long Xiaoyao to help her heal her injuries. But Bo Seixi felt very shy. Not only was this the first time she let Long Xiaoyao touch her abdomen directly, but after she had risen halfway, she also found that her current appearance was very attractive. I have never done this in front of any man. Plop, plop, Bo Seixi's pretty face turned red, like a ripe strawberry, her heart beat faster, and her whole body became tense with tension. Bo Seixi couldn't help but tilted her head to the side where Long Xiaoyao was no longer around. She didn't dare to look directly into Long Xiaoyao's eyes, and she didn't even dare to let Long Xiaoyao see her current appearance. I didn't expect Bo Seixi to be so cute when she became shy, ha ha ha. Although he didn't see Bo Seixi's face, he felt Bo Seixi's tightened abdomen and heard Bo Seixi's accelerated heartbeat. Long Xiaoyao knew that Bo Seixi was shy and smiled. He didn't expect that. Bo Seixi became so shy that she turned out to be so cute. However, it did not affect his treatment of Bo Seixi's injuries. I'm just a little shy. Just a little bit. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's inner voice, Bo Seixi felt very angry, very happy and even more shy at the same time. By the way, Bo Seixi, how come you got into a fight with Tang Chen? And you were seriously injured by him? Did you faint? Long Xiaoyao asked Bo Seixi curiously while continuing to heal Bo Seixi's injuries. Firstly, he was really curious about it, and secondly, he wanted to divert Bo Seixi's attention so that Bo Seixi wouldn't be so shy and nervous. I was originally taking Ah Yin and see which to look for, doing something, but I didn't expect that I suddenly ran into Tang Chen. Although Tang Chen's appearance is completely different from before, he still wants to get me, but I wasn't interested in him at all, so we started fighting. We fought for several hours. In the end, Tang Chen took advantage of his geographical advantage and knocked me unconscious. Then I didn't know anything about it. Bo Seixi looked at Long Xiaoyao and told him truthfully, with anger in his words. She didn't know why. She didn't want to lie to Long Xiaoyao, but she couldn't tell Long Xiaoyao that she was here to find out if there was anyone with bloodline power who was more powerful than the dragon god. That's it. Tang Chen is so abominable. Long Xiaoyao nodded, smiled, and found that it was exactly what he had guessed. What about Oya and Sea Witch? I didn't see them just now, Long Xiaoyao asked again. He didn't see Aoi and Sea Witch just now, and he was a little worried about their situation. I don't know either. Before I started fighting with Tang Chen again, I told them to run away and go back to Poseidon Island first, because I know I can't defeat Tang Chen on land. I just don't know if they listened to my order and fled directly back to Poseidon Island. Bo Saxi said helplessly that she was now very worried about Ah Yin and the Sea Witch. They should listen to your order and return to Poseidon Island, because I didn't find them just now. Long Xiaoyao comforted Bo Saxi and said that he didn't know whether Ah Yin and Sea Witch had returned to Poseidon Island, and he could only hope that they would return to Poseidon Island. Hopefully, Bo Saxi could only hope that Ah Yin and the Sea Witch would return to Poseidon Island. By the way, Long Xiaoyao, why are you here? Where are we? Where are Tang Chen and the others? Immediately afterwards, Bo Saxi asked Long Xiaoyao curiously. I originally planned to find help, but when I happened to pass by this forest, I found you unconscious and crashing into a mountain, so I rescued you. Then I found Tang Chen chasing after me, so I hugged you and hid. Tang Chen thought you had escaped, so he went after you, but Tang Chen knows that you are seriously injured and thinks that you can't escape far and should hide in this forest. I should look for you in this forest now. In order to help you heal, I found this underground cave. Tang Chen will never find us, Long Xiaoyao explained to Bo Saxi. I see. After Bo Saxi heard what Long Xiaoyao said, she was very shocked. She did not expect such a coincidence, nor did she expect that Long Xiaoyao could save her under Tang Chen's eyes and even healed her injuries. Thank you so much. Bo Saxi's pretty face turned red and she sincerely thanked Long Xiaoyao. Bo Saxi was really grateful to Long Xiaoyao. If it weren't for Long Xiaoyao, she would have fallen into Tang Chen's clutches now. If it weren't for Long Xiaoyao, her injuries wouldn't have healed so quickly. We are friends, there is no need to be polite between friends, Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Bo Saxi, and then continued to concentrate on helping Bo Saxi heal his injuries. Okay, Bo Saxi nodded and lay quietly on the ground, letting Long Xiaoyao help her heal the injuries in her body. But the difference from before was that Bo Saxi was no longer as shy as before. She looked at Long Xiaoyao, who was concentrating on helping her treat her injuries, and showed a charming smile. After about 10 minutes, Long Xiaoyao successfully healed all Bo Saxi's injuries without leaving any hidden dangers to Bo Saxi. Congratulations to the master for curing peerless Douluo and Bo Saxi's injuries, earning him, million healing points. Just when Long Xiaoyao had just healed all the injuries on Bo Saxi's body, Xiao Yi's voice sounded in Long Xiaoyao's mind, million points, so much, very good. Long Xiaoyao smiled excitedly when he heard Xiao Yi's voice. Because Long Xiaoyao already has more than 500 million medical god points. Now he only needs to earn more than 500 million medical god points, and he will be able to obtain 1 billion medical god points. It can be exchanged for a 10-year-old divine beast or ferocious beast, which can be upgraded to the title Douluo level. 800 million points, so much? Great. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's inner voice, Bo Saxi had a question mark on his face, unable to understand what Long Xiaoyao meant. Long Xiaoyao, what's wrong? Why are you smiling so happily? Bo Saxi asked Long Xiaoyao curiously. She did not directly ask Long Xiaoyao what, million points meant, because she did not intend to tell Long Xiaoyao that she could hear Long Xiaoyao's heart. First of all, Bo Saxi didn't know why she could hear Long Xiaoyao's thoughts. Secondly, Bo Saxi knew that Long Xiaoyao didn't know that she could hear her own thoughts. She could rely on this to know what Long Xiaoyao was thinking by eavesdropping on Long Xiaoyao's thoughts when she was with him. End of this chapter. Period. Chapter 174 Bo Saxi's warning. Because I have healed all your injuries, and I guarantee that you will not relapse in the future, nor will you leave any hidden dangers, Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Bo Saxi. The god of medicine system is Long Xiaoyao's biggest secret, and it is also the reason why he can become so powerful in a short period of time. Even for Ah Yin and other girls, Long Xiaoyao did not tell them that he had a medical system. Bo Saxi was not Long Xiaoyao's woman yet, and she might even be his enemy, and he would not tell Bo Saxi. Really? Bo Saxi asked Long Xiaoyao curiously. She knew that Long Xiaoyao was telling the truth, but this was not the answer she wanted. Because Bo Saxi had just clearly heard Long Xiaoyao say, million points in her heart, she felt that the, million points Long Xiaoyao said was definitely something. So Bo Saxi thought that the reason why Long Xiaoyao smiled so happily was because of the, million points thing. What she wanted to know was what the, million points thing was, but she didn't want to ask directly. Long Xiaoyao. Of course, I guarantee it with my life, If your injury recurs in the future, you can come to me and I will do whatever you want to do with it. Long Xiaoyao said confidently that he didn't know that Bo Sexy could hear his voice. He thought that Bo Sexy didn't believe that he had completely healed her injuries. I believe you, Bo Sexy nodded. She was not going to ask Long Xiaoyao directly, because that would reveal that she could hear Long Xiaoyao's heart. Moreover, Bo Sexy knew that everyone had their own secrets, and she was not a woman like Long Xiaoyao, so it was not easy for her to ask too many questions. Just like Long Xiaoyao didn't ask her and Aya carefully what the sea witch was doing. Boom. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao directly called the little house out of the space ring, and the little house fell heavily in front of him and Bo Sexy. Such a big house. Bo Sexy looked at the sudden appearance of the small house and was very surprised. Although she also has a storage soul guide, the internal space of her storage soul guide is very small and cannot fit in such a large house. Excuse me, Long Xiaoyao turned to Bo Sexy again, first said to Bo Sexy, and then directly hugged Bo Sexy in a princess hug. The speed was so fast that Bo Sexy didn't even react. Bo Sexy never imagined that Long Xiaoyao would hug her directly without her consent. And because Bo Sexy's body had just been healed by Long Xiaoyao, and because of the battle with Tang Chen, his soul and mental power had been exhausted, and he couldn't move at all. Moreover, Bo Sexy's body is very sensitive now. Bo Sexy suddenly felt that the place where he was in contact with Long Xiaoyao was extremely itchy, as if he had been electrocuted. It was extremely numb, a little painful, but also somewhat comfortable. He couldn't help but make a blood-heating sound thump, thump. Although Bo Sexy had been hugged by Long Xiaoyao before, she was unconscious at the time. So this time can be regarded as the first time that Bo Sexy has been hugged by a man, and she is now wearing a very revealing and sexy outfit, which makes people think about it. She feels particularly shy, her pretty face suddenly turns red, and her heartbeat suddenly speeds up. The whole body also became tense. Bo Sexy struggled with all his strength, trying to get off Long Xiaoyao's arms immediately. But Long Xiaoyao hugged Bo Sexy tightly. Bo Sexy was now unable to resist Long Xiaoyao. Not only did he not get down from Long Xiaoyao's arms, but he was hugged even tighter by Long Xiaoyao. Bo Sexy felt even more itchy and electric shock, making her whole body tingle. You, what are you doing? Put me down quickly. Bo Sexy's eyes widened. He asked shyly and angrily and ordered Long Xiaoyao. Now she just wants to get down from Long Xiaoyao's arms quickly, otherwise she will be unable to hold back and make even more passionate sounds. Bo Sexy's reaction is so cute. How about I tease her first? Seeing Bo Sexy's cute and charming reaction, Long Xiaoyao came up with the idea of teasing Bo Sexy. After all, if Long Xiaoyao wants to tease Bo Sexy now, he can only do it now. Otherwise, when Bo Sexy recovers, Long Xiaoyao will not be Bo Sexy's opponent yet and will have no chance to tease Bo Sexy. Are you sure you want to be so cruel to me? Aren't you afraid that if you make me angry, I will do something indescribable to you while you are unable to resist me now? Long Xiaoyao immediately showed a wolf-like smile and asked Bo Sexy with a smile. I'm not afraid. I don't believe you would do something unspeakable to me. Put me down immediately. Bo Sexy was not afraid at all and spoke to Long Xiaoyao in a commanding tone. Bo Sexy heard what Long Xiaoyao was saying. She knew that Long Xiaoyao just wanted to tease her. She felt that Long Xiaoyao would not really do anything indescribable to her while she was unable to resist of things. Bo Sexy is the high priest of Poseidon Island, and she has been extremely talented since she was a child. Until now, she has never been teased by anyone. Although Bo Sexy was very grateful to Long Xiaoyao for saving her twice and completely healing her injuries. But the arrogant Bo Sexy would not allow others to tease her, even if that person was Long Xiaoyao. But what Bo Sexy couldn't figure out was that even though she said she didn't believe Long Xiaoyao would do some unspeakable things to her, she asked Long Xiaoyao to put her down quickly. But in her heart, Bo Sexy hoped that Long Xiaoyao would not let her go. She even expected that Long Xiaoyao would do some indescribable things to her. Oh, it seems that you think I don't dare to do unspeakable things to you, right? Long Xiaoyao looked into Bo Sexy's eyes like a wolf and asked Bo Sexy with a smile. He didn't expect Bo Sexy to be so stubborn. He felt even more excited and wanted to tease Bo Sexy even more. Yes, if you dare to do some unspeakable things to me, I won't be able to forgive you when I recover. Bo Sexy also stared into Long Xiaoyao's eyes and warned Long Xiaoyao seriously. But what Bo Sexy couldn't figure out was that she actually expected Long Xiaoyao to do some unspeakable things to her regardless of her warning. Yes, Long Xiaoyao was a little surprised. He didn't expect that Bo Sexy not only wasn't afraid of him, but actually warned him like this. I really want to see what happens if I do something indescribable to you now, and you won't be able to forgive me after you recover. Long Xiaoyao looked into Bo Sexy's eyes like a wolf, smiled and said to Bo Sexy, and then slowly stretched his head towards Bo Sexy's head. What do you want to do? Let me tell you, if you really dare to do something indescribable to me, I will definitely not let you go. Thump, thump. Bo Sexy looked at Long Xiaoyao's slowly approaching face and felt very nervous. Her pretty face turned redder, her heart beat faster, and her jade body tense even more. She shyly and angrily questioned and warned Long Xiaoyao. But what Bo Sexy couldn't figure out was that in her heart, she actually hoped that Long Xiaoyao would do some unspeakable things to her. End of this chapter. Chapter 175. The heavier, the better. Bo Sexy's reaction is too cute. She probably hasn't kissed anyone yet. If I kiss her now and take away her first kiss, what will happen if she can't forgive me in the future? Will you directly hold me responsible for her? Hearing Bo Sexy's words, seeing and feeling Bo Sexy's reaction, Long Xiaoyao felt even more excited, and still slowly stretched his head towards Bo Sexy's head. If you dare to take away my first kiss, I will never let you go. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's inner voice and looking at Long Xiaoyao's handsome face so close at hand, Bo Sexy felt extremely nervous and warned Long Xiaoyao directly again. Because just as Long Xiaoyao thought, Bo Sexy had never kissed anyone before. She didn't want Long Xiaoyao to take away her first kiss without her consent, which would make her think that Long Xiaoyao was a people who take advantage of the situation and take advantage of it. But what Bo Sexy couldn't figure out was that somehow, she was really looking forward to Long Xiaoyao taking away her first kiss like this, which made her very conflicted. Long Xiaoyao heard Bo Sexy's warning again. He neither spoke nor listened, and he stretched his head towards Bo Sexy's head. Looking at Long Xiaoyao's handsome face, which was less than 3 centimeters away from his pretty face, and Long Xiaoyao's lips, which were less than 2 centimeters away from his own lips, Bo Sexy felt nervous, angry, and happy at the same time. Let her not know what to do. In the end, Bo Sexy chose to close his eyes and let Long Xiaoyao make the choice. Because no matter what Long Xiaoyao chooses, Bo Sexy can't resist now and can only accept it. Seeing Bo Sexy closing his eyes, Long Xiaoyao showed a proud smile. One day, I will conquer you and make you willingly give me your first kiss. Just keep it for now. Long Xiaoyao did not choose to take away Bo Sexy's first kiss. Instead, he put his head to Bo Sexy's jade ear and spoke softly and firmly, his words full of confidence. Long Xiaoyao felt that Bo Sexy was very arrogant. He would not be the kind of person who would obey if his first kiss and body were taken away. On the contrary, he would be disgusted by Bo Sexy. Therefore, Long Xiaoyao did not intend to take away Bo Sexy's first kiss and body. He planned to win Bo Sexy's heart first, and then make Bo Sexy willingly give him her first kiss and body. Bo Sexy was very surprised when he heard Long Xiaoyao's words. At the same time, Bo Sexy also breathed a sigh of relief, because Long Xiaoyao didn't take advantage of her when she couldn't resist, and took away her first kiss, which made her a little happy. But Bo Sexy felt a little disappointed in her heart for some reason, also because Long Xiaoyao didn't take away her first kiss. But when Bo Sexy heard Long Xiaoyao's confident words, she felt very happy for some reason and looked forward to the day when Long Xiaoyao conquered her. You don't have the strength to move on your own now, and your body is covered in blood, and your dress is in tatters. I guess you don't want to stay like this in front of me, so now I'm going to carry you to the house, let you take a bath and change into clean clothes. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao explained to Bo Sexy while holding Bo Sexy and walked into the small house. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Sexy nodded and showed a charming smile. Only then did she know why Long Xiaoyao wanted to pick her up. She stopped resisting desperately and allowed Long Xiaoyao to carry her towards the small house. By the way, do you have a change of clothes? Long Xiaoyao asked Bo Sexy with concern. No, all my clothes are at Xiaoyao's, Bo Sexy said bluntly. Then I'll give you one of my clothes later, so you can make do with it first, Long Xiaoyao said to Bo Sexy. Bo Sexy nodded. What would Bo Sexy look like wearing my clothes? Long Xiaoyao began to look forward to what Bo Sexy would look like after putting on his clothes. If I didn't have any clothes to wear, I wouldn't wear your clothes. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's thoughts, Bo Sixi was also very helpless. She had no other clothes now. She couldn't keep wearing this tattered clothes with Long Xiaoyao. You are so heavy, I've only held you for a while, and my arms are sore. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao laughed and teased Bo Sixi. If you think I'm too heavy, just let me down. I didn't let you hold me, humph. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bo Sixi said angrily. Why would I think you are too heavy? I really like it, and I think the heavier you are, the better. Long Xiaoyao looked at the high-stretched clothes on Bo Sixi's abdomen and said to Bo Sixi with a smile. You, stool. When Bo Sixi heard Long Xiaoyao's words and saw Long Xiaoyao's gaze, she immediately understood what Long Xiaoyao meant. Being unable to move, she could only curse like this. However, the corners of Bo Sixi's mouth raised slightly, and his heart was already filled with joy, feeling very happy. Ha ha ha. How can a normal man not be lewd? Hearing Bo Sixi scolding him, Long Xiaoyao was not angry, but instead asked with a smile. Humph. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's question, Bo Sixi thought it made sense and couldn't find anything to say to refute Long Xiaoyao. At this moment, Long Xiaoyao had already carried Bo Sixi and came to the living room. Wait here for a while. I'll go and prepare some water for you to take a bath first. Putting Bo Sixi on the sofa and letting him lie down on the sofa, Long Xiaoyao said to Bo Sixi. Ah, Bo Sixi nodded. Then Long Xiaoyao turned around and walked to the bathroom. Does he like big ones? Fortunately, mine is big. Lying on the sofa, Bo Sixi looked at Long Xiaoyao's leaving figure and couldn't help but smile happily. In the past, Bo Sixi felt that her place was too big, which not only affected her cultivation. Moreover, it was very troublesome to get dressed, and it was very difficult to walk. She had never liked it very much. But today, for the first time, Bo Sixi felt that her place was a little bigger. I can't move now. I can't even take off my clothes. How am I going to take off my clothes and take a shower later? I can't ask Long Xiaoyao to help me, right? After Long Xiaoyao's figure disappeared from sight, Bo Sixi finally realized this very serious problem. Immediately afterwards, Bo Sixi constructed a picture of Long Xiaoyao helping her take off her clothes in her mind, and her pretty face turned red. More than 10 minutes passed before Long Xiaoyao walked out of the bathroom and walked directly in front of Bo Sixi. Bo Sixi looked at Long Xiaoyao, a little at a loss. She didn't know whether to let Long Xiaoyao help her or not let Long Xiaoyao help her. But without Long Xiaoyao's help, Bo Sixi would not be able to take off his clothes by himself, and would not be able to take a shower. I have prepared bath water and clothes for you. Let me carry you in now, Long Xiaoyao said to Bo Sixi, and then without waiting for Bo Sixi's answer, he directly picked up Bo Sixi and walked to the bathroom. Bo Sixi wanted to say something, but he hesitated for a long time and couldn't say anything. What's wrong? Long Xiaoyao asked Bo Sixi curiously. No, nothing. Bo Sixi quickly said that she felt that Long Xiaoyao must have thought that she could not take off her clothes by herself now, and must have thought of how to help her. So Bo Sixi planned to say nothing and then see how Long Xiaoyao planned to help her. End of this chapter. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.